Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, my lovely Aries. It is such a pleasure to greet you, sweetheart. I hope you are doing well today, honey. I hope you are doing well. Guys, if you're here, go ahead and get comfortable. I will. I'm right here. I'm just doing something real quick. So give me 1 second. Let me see here. Can y'all hear me? Hey, Gemini Rising. Hello, hello, hello. Let me know if you can hear me okay. I'm gonna talk a little louder on this device because hold up. Okay, yeah. Okay, you can hear me. I'm gonna talk a little louder because I do notice that when I listen to playbacks from my iPad, it does seem a little lower than my regular phone. So I'm gonna try to talk up while I'm on here, y'all. And if I am not loud enough, just let me know and I will raise my voice as loud as I can for your comfortability. So work with me, y'all. I'm on a different device, but this one works better with my Wi-Fi than my phone does, but the volume is not as high, so I don't want to sound far away, so I'm gonna project as much as I can. While we waiting on Tay, some things that we're going to discuss today is I am going to jump into some Queen of Kings stuff and kind of talk about a few things concerning this couple and kind of resonating it to real life. So we're gonna be talking about the. I'll just put my TV on 99. I'm so done, Gemini. Hey, whatever we got to do to get the job done, right? I'm with it. Um, we're talking. What I want y'all to know is that me and Latay will be discussing all kinds of different things on Tuesdays. Will not be just Queen of King related. Today we just kind of breaking the ice with it, or whatnot. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about social family dynamics within social media. We will be talking about financial comfort throughout dealing with social media and things of that nature. Hey, mom of three, love you. Love each and every one of y'all. So I apologize. I'm a few minutes late. I was getting my granny settled so I could do this live before I head home. And I'm just waiting on my guest. I will go ahead and get this link down in there. Get the link down in there. I'm glad it's working today because yesterday I did not drop this link for shit. And I was like, please don't do me wrong tomorrow. Dreamy girl, love you, girl. Shout out to the family. Shout out to the family. It's great like that. Love y'all so much. And also, at any point during this live, if anyone else cares to join us and give a point of view on anything, please just let me know. You ain't got to even let me know. Just grab the link and you welcome up. You are welcome up. Hey, humble me hype, love you. Welcome in, sweetie pie. Welcome in. I'm gonna give it a few minutes. Oh, in the meantime, make sure y'all go subscribe to my bestie Lola as a YouTube channel now, y'all. So we do have another home. So please, if you haven't already, go over to Only One Lolo. We're gonna get a mod at some point. Drop her link to her channel, Only One Lolo. She has a page now. She is our newest content creator. And we're probably gonna get her to go live sometime this weekend. But make sure y'all subscribe to the one and only Lolo in the building. I'll try to get that link in the chat as soon as I can. Lord, these mosquitoes at my granny house is treacherous. Do you hear me? Treacherous. Hold on, y'all. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know what my guest is. Is that we waiting for you, cousin? We waiting for you. Let me know. I'll go ahead though and kind of get a little bit started by saying, has anybody gotten caught up with the Queen of Kings? Have everybody caught up until today? Is everybody caught up or not? Mr. I love you, Shelly. I love you. Thank you for letting me pull up on your platform today. It's always a pleasure. Is everybody all caught with Queen of Kings? Who in here been keeping up with the shenanigans? If you don't know, this past week has been a debacle of I don't know what. If you didn't know, Rose has totally just tore down her poor husband, child, and now they're doing a build up. You know what I'm saying? They doing a build up. Lolo, drop your link in the chat, baby. They are doing a build up, y'all, where after all now, they're seeming to be okay. She seemed to admit it to getting therapy and trying to get her mental together, and I certainly hope so. Um, I noticed. I think I'm gonna show y'all on my camera that I don't know if you've seen when they were together, hugged up on the balcony or whatever. It was good to see Brett relax. He feels like he's so happy to see his wife kind of acting halfway full and hugging up on him. She seems to give him even more affection than she did before, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. So I do want to say shout out to that, because one thing's for sure and two things for certain, y'all. I do not condone broken families. One thing about it, I would never want to tear down anybody on my platform that makes their family situations worse. Um, and I don't want to be that type of a platform. I don't want to be that type of a platform. I am so happy if they're getting it together or whatever. It don't mean we still ain't gonna break some stuff down. We gonna be on Queen of Kings, but we do want to say I'm glad that y'all are not broken up. I'm glad y'all did not separate, and I'm glad that Brett is still around. There go cousin. cousin. There you go, cuz. We got Cuzzo in the building. I can officially light my evening blunt now. All right, my guest of honor is in the building. My guest of honor, cousin Tay. Thank y'all for y'all because I was late getting this stream started. Y'all know the grannies come first. It don't matter what I got planned. When granny needs me, I stop everything. I stops everything. We gonna also I'm gonna get Tay to drop her cash out too. I'll stop and mail with you. Whoa, back there. The platform that keeps on giving. I love it. Let me see. I may be too far away. Oh, there go cousin.
There we go.
I
Cause I
think
don't
I
know
was
what
too
was
far away
going on.
from my router, cuz.
I know YouTube is just acting up today. For some reason, it's slagging and dragging.
Oh, okay.
So it
Well,
ain't just
let me.
you.
Okay, because I was like, man, I ain't know what was going on. Can you hear me okay, cuz?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, and I can hear you as well. Well, drum roll. Welcome to the stage, my gorgeous cuzzo. Latay's World is in a building with us, and I'm so grateful to have her here with me today. Look forward to this on every Tuesday, long as something don't come up for either one of us. We'll be here on Tuesdays, y'all, wherever you gonna find us. Shout out to baby girl Tay. Let me ask
That's
you this. First, I'm gonna
go
let
ahead.
Tay speak. I'm gonna let you speak to the crowd. They down there shouting you out and ready to get the party started. So I'm gonna let Tay speak to the crowd real quick, y'all.
Hey y'all. I am so happy to be here today. Just being honest, I was so excited to be coming here to do the Tay and Tiff Tuesday. If excitement was the thing, that would be an understatement, baby.
Same here. Same here. Hey, Miss Cherry, welcome in to all the loves and all the loves. Welcome in, welcome in. First thing I want to do here, y'all, is thank you for being here with us. It means everything to me. I did not schedule this live because y'all know I really don't do much scheduling. I like to just, let the family know what's up and do what I do and let God steer the course. So I'm happy for those that are always checking in, whether your notifications are set or not. You look forward to it and you pull up, and I thank y'all for that. The first thing I want
Right,
to
all
ask
right.
Tay, cousin Tay. Oh, my
Yes,
sound.
ma'am.
I'm gonna try to talk up, y'all, cause I'm on a different device, and this for some reason this thing muffles me a little bit, and I don't know why, cause it's an Apple device, so I don't know, I don't understand it, but I'm gonna try to talk up for y'all so y'all can hear me clear. I wanted to ask cousin Tay, cousin Tay, is you caught up with Queen of Kings? Have you gotten a chance to be caught up?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Yes, I
Okay,
have.
good,
And
good.
I've been waiting to have this conversation because honestly, I was watching, and you know how you watching something but you're not watching, and then I started seeing some things that kind of caught my attention. I'm like, wait, and then we here today.
And then we here today. So what have been your
Mhm.
thoughts on all of this? What's your thoughts?
Social media is a drug.
Can somebody put
If
that in a chat? Social media is a drug, so I can pin it.
yes, and I stand on that. And we seeing so many different cases, not only in them, they're just the people that's in the forefront amongst other people that's going through the same thing. And when you have underlying issues and you a person that's on social media, it's certain things that people can't handle because it's triggers. And once you get on social media, a lot of those triggers within people are rerouted and re-alerted. Let me put it that way. They're alerted. A lot of people don't know how to handle their triggers. So people, places, and things. And social media is not a good place for some people.
It isn't. You right.
It is not.
I agree completely. And on that note, the reason why I agree so much with cousin Tay. Hey, Miss Lisa, I'm gonna try to talk up for y'all for some of y'all that's saying the volume on my end is low because I hear cousin Tay perfectly. So and I know mine be low on this iPad, so I don't know why, but I'm gonna try to talk as loud as I can without busting Tay's eardrums. Um,
No, it's doable. I can hear you. You good.
Okay. I agree completely about social media being a drug, y'all. Because one thing we have spoke on recently was about if you take Queen of Kings just as an example, you can take Risa and Quan, I believe is his name. A lot of these different couples and families
Carmen
that
and Corey, CJ and Royalty. The
come
list
on.
goes on and on.
Come on. We have seen how so many of these couples and family dynamics that started out so strong, so self assured, has been broken, you guys. And I can't help but to think that it's not a normal breaking. I think that social media brings a lot of jealousy between couples. I think it takes a lot of time away from natural quality
Totally
time.
agree.
You know what I'm saying? I think all, if you look at the children of these social media sites and things, it seems like nothing is regular quality time and genuine quality time. It seems like it's just okay, let's play for the camera. Okay, let's cook
Everybody's
for
trying
the
to
camera.
prove that they better than the next or that they happier than the next person when that's not actually the case.
It is not. It is not. And I also feel one thing I wanted to mix in with this conversation, you guys, is finances. Okay. The reason why
Amen.
this came, what you say, cuz?
I said amen. Hold on one second. Hey, everybody speaking in the chat. I don't want y'all to think that I'm being rude, but for some reason the comments is moving kind of fast and lagging at the same time. So if you are speaking, hello, hello, and hello.
Exactly.
Right. But go ahead, Tiff.
Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm gonna try to cut my volume up as if I can. I I don't really know how to do this because it's showing me the strength of my audio, and I could see that it is pushing automatically adjust microphone. Okay, hold on, y'all. Can y'all hear me any better?
Yeah.
Okay. I think my volume on the mic was actually down, so hopefully I'm a little louder now. Y'all down there in the chat, let me know if it went up for you at all. The reason why I wanted to bring up finances, y'all, is because the most recent video from Queen of Kings, right, was it said we are officially moved to our new home in Hawaii. The We are officially moved into our home in the most expensive neighborhood in Hawaii.
Tiff, can you hear me?
A few examples, y'all. Rose quickly wanted to show us how much her brunch cost with her
Mm-hmm.
boys. We also saw that when Rose and them moved out of the Airbnb or the hotel they were staying in, for some reason, Rose said the words, I know this doesn't matter, y'all, and I don't really like to talk about prices, which was a lie. But she could
Live.
not leave that Airbnb, y'all, without telling you how much they was renting it for. Okay. Now her exact, well, I ain't gonna quote her exactly, but she made it a point to say that the Airbnb cost them around, I want to say about $4,600 for 22
Yes,
days,
ma'am.
y'all. Okay, about 4,600 for 22 days. Now they're moving out of it. So what is the reason of letting us know how much you paid for it when you moved in? It behooves me. Okay. Then every time they
Mhm.
move, she is quick to tell you, well, this property is 7 grand. We're renting this for 7 grand a month. We're doing this for this amount a month. She keeps wanting to let you know what she is spending. Now,
To
if
be
y'all are
certified and
anything,
proof that she's making money. Mm-hmm.
yes. So I want to know what makes a person. What do you think goes on in a person's mind, or why? What's going on there when a person has to keep letting you know what they spent on something? Is there something that you're trying to compensate for? Like, what do you think, Tay? Why does she think we need to know what she spends on everything?
Because a lot of people feel like money is a sign that they're not failing. You could be failing in every other area of your life, but as long as you have money to flash, that is to some people that solidifies that everything is okay. Well, I'm making this money, so it doesn't matter if I'm mentally unstable. I'm making this money, so it doesn't matter if I'm arguing in front of the children and things is not good. I'm making this money, so it doesn't matter if my at home is falling apart.
Mm, mm, mm.
So the finance part is the fact is yes, you are online and you're making money off of the demise of your family. It's not like you're making money off of positivity at this point in time. And that's where finance really declines a lot of people on social media because they start doing different things to gain different attention. And like I always say, some people don't care whether it's negative or positive attention as long as they get an attention. And once they start getting that attention and they see what they're getting paid for it, they want to keep their finances the same. And that's at any cost at that point.
Mm, mm. I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. And how in these cases with these families and stuff, does it seem the same to y'all as it does to me that some of these families are willing to trade in these social media checks for a healthy family? healthy marriages, all of that? Is it starting to be that these social media checks are worth more than raising a healthy family and having a healthy marriage?
Absolutely, because the marriage and the family is only to get the check at this point in time. It's not for the bound for the lawyer for what it's supposed to be stood on. It doesn't have the value in it that it's supposed to have. It's not family because it's family. It's not a home because it's supposed to be a home. It's a situation that's set up to get us this check. So as long as we get in this check while we on this camera, we are a family. And at this point in time, even when we falling apart, we're gonna show that part too, so we can still get paid off of it.
Mm, mm.
There's no
It's
dynamic
insane.
no more. There's no dynamics no more. People get married just for the fact of saying that they got married, not for the values that actually come with marriage. Because if it did come with the values, we wouldn't be able to see half of these couples get online and demean their spouse the way that we see that they do in front of millions of people, and then go back to acting like nothing happened and it's normal.
Right. Mm, mm, mm. And you said a
That's
mouthful
making
there. There.
that's making other people in their home feel like that's a normal setup. And that's why when we was growing up and the kids growing up now, they don't have in them what we have in us. Because what we seen growing up versus what these kids see growing up is too much too fast. And they get it at home first. At our homes used to worry about us going in the street and getting it too fast. Now it's the kids getting it too fast because they're in the home. They getting it from the people that created them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I got another question for cousin and the chat down there. I know everybody has not been privy to everything going on with this couple, and like I told y'all, I'm gonna try to take everybody back the best way I can so we can kind of get acclimated together. But there's another thing that's stuck in my head as well. When it comes, as y'all might know, Rose and Brett was doing a lot of couples retreats, right? And they were successful. My thing is do you guys think when you are doing stuff like that, like couples retreats and stuff like that, do you think that people should just jump in stuff because they can afford to, or it's a thought that came, so it's like, hey, let's try this out and do this? Or do you think there should be a certain level of experience and education? Like if I wanted to run a couples retreat, right, that's supposed to help better marriages and things like that. No marriage is perfect, but wouldn't you think that I should practice certain exercises and like you never want people that's come to your couples retreats to see you acting in a way that we've seen Rose act towards her own husband. Wouldn't you think that would kind of screw up your credibility to run couples retreats? Not to have that you can't have problems while you're running a couples retreat or whatever, that you got to be a perfect looking marriage. But don't you think that she dropped a lot of the balls there to be able to return to such a thing? Do y'all think like she can just up and go have another couples retreat without doing any kind of work on herself, like, or her own marriage? I kind of think
Personally,
it makes her lose credibility.
credibility, that's an understatement, because a person that don't stand on nothing can't tell me anything. It would be different if we seen you going through the problems that you was going through and we actually seen you work them out in a adult fashion to show that you can go through things but you can also grow through things. But the way we see these people handling these problems is unhealthy. So to be able to go into a couples retreat and spread false narrative, that's exactly what it would be. A false narrative. You're not living up to what you want other people to be. You're not being that yourself.
Right, I agree. Humble Me Hype says for some types of creators and influencers, I feel it's a blatant play in their supporters' faces. I'ma act like example. I'ma act a fool, talk down on you, look a mess, and still get your money. I've seen that personally.
That one go hard.
Yeah, it do.
That one go super hard, humble me hype. That one go hard because that is the truth. Because people like yes men. As long as I'm agreeing with the actions that you putting in front of me, then we good all day. As soon as I disagree with something that I see now, I'm your biggest enemy. And if I'm a supporter, I'm supposed to be able to support you enough to let you know when something is not right.
Absolutely. And humble that right
I
there.
want real ones. I want real ones behind me. If something, I want somebody to be able to tap me on my shoulder, like, "Hey, girl," or message me like, "Listen, no harm. It's not what you say; is absolutely how you say it. That's first and foremost." And a lot of times, people take advice as an insult. They get very defensive because they don't like to be corrected. You understand? But if you actually listen to the message, you can actually get the advice out of what somebody is trying to tell you when you're not acting right.
Mm, mm, mm. Big facts. And humble, what I want to say to that is you are absolutely right, and because I'm speaking on Queen of Kings and mixing this with real life, a great example would be I have heard her this is all in 1 week, you guys. I have heard her tell her supporters. Someone asked her when she said her and Brett was separating and he was not there at the time or whatever, and she said he was living in another hotel or Airbnb or whatever. One of the supporters said, do you need anything? So she says, absolutely not. I don't need nothing from y'all. I don't need nothing from nobody except a babysitter for these kids, is what she said, right?
Right.
Now, if you didn't need nothing from, if everybody who you just told you don't need nothing from stop supporting you because you don't need, now you're thinking in a moment or whatever. People have to be
Hmm.
careful of how they, just like cousin Tay said, you got to be careful with how you word things, because while you may be speaking in the moment like, nah, I'm good, da da da, whatever, you're kind of, it's kind of disrespectful to say I don't need y'all, I don't need nothing. I've actually
Very.
heard this in my own sagas where I've heard supporters be talked
Mm,
down to and
mm.
pushed aside and told f you, f y'all, I don't need y'all, I don't need your I don't care about these supporters or that supporter, I'm good, I don't need this channel, I don't need this or need that. And
Let me
it's
ask you a
crazy.
question, cousin. Right?
Yeah,
If she didn't need her supporters, would we know who she is?
absolutely not.
We wouldn't even
Absolutely
be talking
not.
about her today. And I'm gonna keep it real with you. When you doing something from your heart and you actually reaching out to people from your heart, it's gonna be a different type of momentum and a different type of energy that comes with that. I'm gonna be realistic with you. I've been on YouTube for a little bit of time now. You understand? And this is where it becomes real life. When I get on YouTube, I'm not getting on YouTube for the intent of the money. You understand? Because money is the root of all evil. If it's going to come within the factors of the blessing, then I'm definitely appreciative of it. I've been on a live and talked for 3 hours and didn't get $1 at some point in time. But the conversation that I had with the supporters was more valuable than any money that I could have made on that live at that time. That means more to me, which means longevity. If I can keep these people to talk and stay close to me for the long haul, that little couple of dollars, once it's spent, is spent. I want people to stick with me to the end and continue to support. So if I'm telling you that your support don't mean nothing, what are you going to continue to be there for?
Exactly. Mm.
I'm only supporting you because I relate to you. It's something about you. Like, you're not one of my actual bills. So People are going through things in this day and time. Everybody is living real life, even them. And that's why they're doing the things that they're doing to keep the money coming in that they're getting. But in real life and time, people do what they have to do to get every dime. So if I can be thoughtful to give you something of mine and then you tell me that you don't appreciate it, are you serious? That's the biggest slap to the face.
Biggest. Biggest. And it almost reminds me of something else, y'all, that I've stuck with my entire YouTube career. Is one other thing I cannot stand is that when I've actually seen content creators, it has nothing to do with this saga, but I'm talking about I've been in the YouTube streets for a while just as a supporter, and I have seen been in lives these likes go here or there. See, I don't do that because for one, if you are new to my now, yes, we tell the family, hit the like button, hit the like button. But if you have a lot of new people coming in, the object of watching me for the first time is to see if you like my content. I don't think I
I
should
couldn't
force
hear
you to
you
hit.
for a minute, Tiff. You had went out for a couple of minutes. It had
Oh,
went blank.
can y'all hear me now?
I can hear you now. You came back in. I've been on a lot of content creator stuff and I've heard them say that when you have new people coming in, that's the part where you came back at.
Oh, damn, you're good. uh, Look, I like it. See, I be needing people like that on my team, child, because
Mm.
these reefers, girl. But yes, y'all let me know anytime I go out and I'll try to get it back right. Um, what I was saying was I've seen many content creators say things like, I'm not gonna get started. I'm you if you used to the thousand in the chat at 15 minutes, but on this one day you only have 300 people in the chat at 15 minutes, they will not start the show until 1,000 people are in there, even if it takes or
Yes.
you see what I'm saying, or they will say right when the show starts is hit the like button, hit the like button. Do everybody know what that like button is for? Let me explain. The like button is just, I mean, it's great when you have people that just hit it regardless, but I'm the type of person that I'm not hitting your like
I
button.
gotta like your shit. Sorry.
Right,
Sorry, my
right.
language.
Oh, girl, using the 411.
Look, there go that seasoning for that chicken.
Right. We love a little seasoning, cuz. Welcome in,
Right.
Brother Esco.
But I'm
Juice
not gonna just
World.
hit something as soon as I come in. I can understand if that's for the past supporters or the supporters that you have already. But if I'm a new person coming in, I'm trying to see what it is that I like about your ish before I hit the like button. I'm not just gonna hit the like button off impulse. I might not come back here again. While I'm hitting
E-
some that I don't, I have to see what you talking about first.
Exactly. Nor do I like to, I don't like to force people to subscribe. I don't like now what one thing I like about subscribers mode is you can still actually see what someone is talking about and then make a decision. Well, I like this live enough to where I want to say something in it. Let me hit the subscribe button because I'm into this and I like what this content creator is saying and I want to come back and see what this content creator has going on. I don't want you to hit my subscribe button or my like button if you don't want to be here in longevity. Because guess what? You end up becoming a number in my subscribers list that brings nothing to me past that number you added. You may go up one. You made that number
Right.
go up one, but if you're not coming back to view, patronize, send a cash app, super sticker, a word of encouragement, or any of that, then you being a number in my subscription
A
list
waste
is
of
null.
space.
Thank you. Null and void. People think that subscriber button or whatever is the all power. No, because that's how you end up having 50,000 or 100,000 subscribers, but you only have 2,000 interacting with you on a daily basis. Because you're forcing them to like it or do this or do that, but you're not making sure that that's where they want to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm gonna just be honest. I've gotten more traction with my when I had 2,000 subscribers than somebody with 45. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because if people interact, they're going to definitely come back. If those people that's like you said in your subscriber list, they just there. They just there. Wait, you see that number, but they not doing anything. So what purpose are they
Exactly.
serving? They not watching, they not liking, they not subscribing, which meaning they not commenting. So which meaning that they're non-active within your algorithm. Do you understand what I mean? And if you're gonna have no activity, please leave and make that space for available for somebody that's gonna use it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And that's why I mean it's just very important. Rose is in it was another example I was gonna give y'all too that will come back to me. But yeah, she has just shown me a lot of she's been a huge example of where you treat so I just find that some of these people like Rose can kind of treat people like I could do with you or do without you. You know what I'm saying? Like I want my supporters to feel special when they come in the break room. I don't want you to feel like because I'm closer to one or the other or this or that or the third day, you don't mean nothing. Or my show ain't worth giving to you because this person's not in the live or that person ain't in the live. I actually know people that go live and the only people they really respect in their live is when content creators show up in it. But the content creators is not who's really patronizing your channel or blessing your cash apps, your supers, sharing your live. The competition,
At
these are
all.
like co-workers, y'all. It's like co-workers. The co-worker is not there to shine you. Well, I can't speak for all because I'm the co-worker of many and I shine light on everybody. You feel me? But
Hmm.
some of us is a rare commodity around here. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But people
Absolutely.
give more love to their co-worker than they do the customer. It's crazy.
And
The
mhm.
customers is the ones that's buying from your business, that's investing in your business, not your coworker. Your coworker is there to get a check, just like you are.
The customers was keeping the business open. It's the reason why you have a business in the first place. Didn't you open the business for the customers? I know you ain't just open the business to have coworkers. Cause
Facts.
how you paying the coworkers or how the coworkers even getting paid at the end of the day if ain't no customers coming in?
Period. Hey, Miss PJ. Hey, DEI Crenshaw. Shout out again to Brother Esco. Before I go any further, there is quite a handful of content creators in the building. I just want to shout them out and tell y'all to go like, share, subscribe, and patronize these channels. One is on my platform right now, Latay's World. That's because right there. And y'all make sure y'all go patronize this beautiful lady. We got Open Book down there, who also has a book on
Hey,
Amazon
open.
called A Common Thread. So make sure if y'all love to read like I do, you go get that book, learn something. It's full of great testimonies. Shout out to Open Book. We also got Shelly Shell in the building. Please go like, share, subscribe. We got one and only Lolo in the building who just got her channel started, and we want to make sure that we spread love on all these women. Humble Me Hype is in the building. Go like, share, and subscribe. We also got Brother Esco in the building. Go like, share, subscribe. Show everybody some love. It don't cost you nothing. That's it. That's
And
all.
Tay
What
love
was
you
it?
all, each and every person she named. Tay love you, babies.
Yes, 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 yes.
Now, Tiff,
So,
let me ask you something real quick,
yeah.
right? Because I want to know your opinion on this, right?
Mhm.
Rejection, right? How many situations do we see? Um, demising due to the factors of rejection right now, whether it's male
Ooh,
or female associated.
ooh, wait. Well, y'all know how I feel about that. I've spoken on that when I first started around here about how I mean y'all know when I was in the saga and stuff, rejection was something that I spoke on often. I'm gonna say this about that. What I have realized is that when you are an influencer, a blogger, or this, that, or the third, even when it's not in a relationship, it could be just as simple as being rejected of connecting with the content creator, being rejected connected with the supporter. It could be whatever you want to name when it comes to being rejected. It's just not about relationships. But what I have
Amen.
noticed is that rejection hit harder when it's publicized. Okay, rejection hits harder when it's publicized, mainly due to the fact that nobody wants to feel like the loser or the failure. Nobody wants to feel like the reason for something not going right, or for a relationship ending, or a business move not going through. Nobody wants to feel that. Nobody wants to feel like they're not good enough. And that is exactly what rejection does. Even if you going to get a job, if you're rejected from that job or getting that job, it means that you were not as good as someone else that is going to get that position. So rejection sucks, especially because it makes us reevaluate ourselves. It makes us ask some questions and reflect. When you don't get that job, you asking, well, damn, how can I improve? What did I miss? I was qualified. I had the education, but we tend to not really. I think one thing that comes with rejection is that sometimes we think what we think is a good mate or a good employee or whatever is what is always going to get us through. But some of us feel that we're just so perfect or so good or this, that, and the third, and whoever we want to be is good enough. But we don't pay attention to what is being required of us. Like, we so busy knowing, well, I got this education and I got this experience or whatever. You might be going to get a job that I'm gonna give y'all a quick story real quick. This is a true story and it's real quick. I would never forget, y'all. This was about 5, 6 years ago or whatever. I was switching. I was in a different city and was switching my employment situation while my house was being built or whatever. And this is actually, you guys met me when I was working at the women's shelter in another city or whatever. And I will never forget it that me and this girl, it was a few women who had I didn't actually apply for this job. Other people had applied for this job. I knew nothing about it, y'all, but they actually had pulled my resume. You understand? So what was funny is when I realized my resume had been pulled and they wanted me to come in to interview with this job, me and the other candidates, we all had the education, we all had the experience. Do you know how I be? And actually, one of them had even more than me, more experience, more education than me. One of them outdid me in both of those areas, y'all. Do you know how I ended up with that job? Because the boss, the person who ran this company, took a special liking to the fact that I knew the history of the company. And that said something to them that I didn't even live in the city, did not I did not apply for this job. But over the ones who had applied, no one knew the backup of the makeup of the company. No one knew how it got started or why it got started but me. And that showed that boss, like, wow, for you to know this or whatever, it almost made them feel like I wanted it more just because I knew more about the job instead of just what my position would require. You know what I'm saying? I knew many things that had nothing to do with my position, and that was impressive to the boss man. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I wanted to share that to say that we don't know always know what is expected of us. We only sometimes go off of what we think should be expected instead of doing our homework and finding out what should be expected. So while I'm thinking I'm so perfect in one area, or this is just an example, not me, y'all, but while someone is thinking they're so perfect in one area, they haven't took the time out to figure out if that's an area that the other person even care about. you
Amen.
you might be a person who feel like a great partner should have mad money or whatever, but you might be end up dating someone who already has a lot of money, so the money you have ain't something they're searching for in a person. They're looking for some things that money can't buy in a person, but you didn't ask those questions because you're used to only money mattering.
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
matters, and these are all true stories, y'all. This is how it can go in relationships and everything. You get used to a certain thing. Like a woman, she could get used to her body getting her through with other relationships. She had to be if you got a man that wants you to be fine, he like to go out, he like to show off his woman. So you know that it makes him happy that you dress a certain way and that you just always looking like a fly
Yep.
girl and eye candy and stuff like that. But then so now you didn't have to pay any attention to other qualities within yourself because you've been in that relationship where only this particular quality really mattered. So then you move on to your next relationship not doing the homework, and you think that that is the same quality that's required for the next one, and wonder why it failed because the next one wasn't looking for that. They don't like to go out. They don't want everybody with eyes all over their woman and seeing your booty protrude. And if you already got a nice butt, you ain't got to accentuate it. It's there. You understand? But you can end up with a person that's not, you know what I'm saying? But I think we really got to pay attention to those things. So when it comes to rejection, it people don't like it because it makes them reflect. It makes them have to look in a mirror and see what's wrong. What am I lacking? And when people don't think they lacking, oh, rejection stings. It
Mhm. It causes dysfunction, and that was basically the second part to what I was going to say. Rejection causes dysfunction. A lot of people don't know how to handle their emotions due to the factors of rejection, which we see a lot of dysfunction come from it. Because a lot of it start at home, and I'm going to go into the factors of back into the kings of queens. Because Rose, if you seen that video with her mother, she was dismissive. She was not really, paying her any attention, and that was just for what we seen on the camera, so we could imagine what it was, her growing up within that situation, on top of the factors of her telling us that she's been sent back and forth from her mother to her father, which means she never really knew where she fit. Right, that's another thing that has to do with rejection. So now a lot of these couples, we see that they have trauma that started when they was a child, and now that they're online and these people are able to see their flaws, they're still feeling like they're being rejected again, because I don't think people realize when you get online there's two sides. There's people that's going to like you, but you have to remember there's people that's not going to like you as well. And when we see the people that don't, you ever see how Rose is online, for instance, and she got 1,000 people in her chat writing positive things, and she'll zero in on the one negative comment that might that might trigger the rejection that she's
Yep.
used to feeling. And now we
Mm.
see,
Oh, that's
and
deep.
Yes, and even down, with the saga that we're in, just think of how early on some of these people's situations started, from the factors of bearing children to the loss of a parent. All of those can bring on the factors of rejection, because when you have to find out where you fit in life rather than knowing where you fit in life, it throws you off course. So now anything somebody say about you, you're going to feel the need to defend it, because it might be possibly things that you're saying to yourself about yourself. So to hear it outside of your head is like somebody's weaponizing you.
Right. Right. DEI says rejection leads to dysfunction, leads to destruction on many levels. Yes.
Right, right. These people can't
Yes.
handle people that they don't know because they don't know themselves. So anything that somebody say about them, they're going to feel the need to defend because they've always felt rejected. And it's just like, oh my God, somebody's rejecting me again. Let me show them that I'm not who they say that I am. And the further and the harder that they go to show who they ain't, they actually show who they really is.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I like that. They definitely show who they really is. And we seen that with your girl with Rose. She says a lot to us about what she has. She has this beautiful husband, this tall burly muscular man who just loves up
Mhm,
on her and adores her. She's making all this money. Like Rose showed us herself, she makes anywhere from 8 to 15 grand a month YouTubing. You know what I'm saying? And
mhm.
she's showing us this. She's letting us know we're home owners. We're this and we're that. But what did we see in Rose over the past week? We saw a hollowed woman. We saw
Mhm,
someone who has not been tapping in to her spiritual side. We've seen and y'all know how I know when somebody ain't tapped into their spiritual side. It's when you go from you don't like when you're mad at the world like because of your own decisions in life or whatever. You know how you got people that don't like to take accountability. They don't care how much they screw up. It's always gonna be somebody else's fault. This is what
Sha-na-na.
look, I ain't heard you hit me with that in a long time. Shout out to that. um but what I've seen in her is hollowness. What I've seen is you don't know what to do with yourself and you're running out of people to blame. You realize that when you tried to take Brett down, and I'm being real honest, the people did not turn on this man, y'all. There might have been some questions, there might have been some confusion, but there was nobody that went to dragging this man. Nobody started dragging Brett. Like, oh, so you ain't been in that kid life for a year? You would know. People had questions like, even
Right.
me. Y'all saw me go to Rose chat yesterday, I believe it was, or the day before, and I asked that lady. I said, "Well, I've been watching you, so I already knew the answer, but I wanted her to be able to tell the people. That's why I asked her, and I said, what you mean, Brett ain't what was Brett for the first year of Race's life?" She said, "Well, the people she said that's a valid question. The people said that I said that, but it is very clear that he was in his life, and that's something that I said yesterday, y'all. This is off the subject, but on the
Mhm.
subject, I'm gonna repeat it real quick. When like I said yesterday, when you getting on new stories, you have to do your homework, y'all, because that rumor went around somewhat about Brett not being in it baby's life for the first year, but all the proof of him being there was right there on her page. She's got a million shorts and videos and whatever
Mhm.
showing Brett,
Him
he's
being
been there
very
for
active.
and very active, always have been there, even before having his own kids with her. He's been very active with the other two children and very active with the two he has. And so I found that crazy that people did not go and just stroll. It took less than 2 minutes for me to take some screenshots showing Brett throughout that first year. You know what I'm saying? It took less than 2 minutes. And I'm like, damn, this shows how easy and how much it sucks when people start rumors or just go off. Like Rose said it, sure. The content creators wasn't wrong. Rose started the rumor. She the one said it. But we still have to do our homework, even if we want the story. You know what I'm saying? People wanted that to be true, so it could add on to a good part of the story with covering the Queen of Kings. But I'm telling y'all,
I
that's
don't like the
something.
fact. Sorry, I don't like the fact how she tried to belittle him about his daughter after he did so much for her kids. Tell him about your daughter, Brad. Why don't you have a relationship with your daughter? That's not something that was very nice for her to do, because you have relayed time and time again how this man took you and your kids in, and now you're gonna belittle him for whatever the relationship is with him and his daughter. That looks bad on you as a person, not on him as a man. Because if you can take somebody else's kids in, that shows the heart that you have.
Yes, yes, yes. I completely agree. And this is crazy. That's why I'm like, you can't, even if somebody just talking outside of their head, you have to go off what you've seen yourself. Like me, she couldn't just say all this stuff about Brett and think I was going to run with it. Because, girl, I've been watching you for 4 years now, before you had
Mhm.
any kids with Brett. So I'm
I mean, you
looking
had,
like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, you talking out of anger, and luckily I knew that. But think of all the people who did not know that hadn't had time to go back in time and see the history of this, that, or the third. So I'm just like, people. That's another thing. People just got to be careful of, talking. This is a lesson to Rose that, hey, if you gon' the first way to maybe end you lying on your husband is when you're upset with your husband. How about you not go live, because you might tell more lies on him out of anger. We have to start making decisions of, well, where am I the problem at? Well, there'll
Mhm.
be no rumors to put out if I'm not going live when I'm angry with my husband, and now I'm making things up because he is better. I've told y'all before, in any of this stuff, like with the saga, with whatever you want to call it, anywhere. If
That's
you are
because
as
that's because people that don't know love, how can they give it? If you was never showed love in your upbringing, or if that's the story that you saying, then how could you display it? Some people will make it seem like they the most loving thing. That I'm so loving. Anybody that gotta constantly say that they loving rather than showing love, that
come
lets
through.
you know right there. But all of these people that we see, like you was getting ready to say, sorry for cutting you off,
Nah,
this situation, the saga that we in, and many others, a lot of these people don't know what love is. So even though they possibly have got into a relationship with somebody that is ultimately loving, they don't recognize it for what it is because they've never had it, so they don't know how to intake it. It's something that's unfamiliar. So even down to the factors of them displaying it is not going to be something that's going to be a given.
right,
They'll make
right.
you do, they'll think that in an argument, how far you go to prove that you want them or how angry they can get you. That's the love right there. Oh, I had this, not a person just saying I love you and you getting to see that. You have to bring an action out of a person that may be of a negative light. Like how she had Brett in his feelings and up. She was trying to trigger him for us to be able to see him in that type of light, even though
Mm,
he's not that type of person. Because in her demeanor that time, at that point, she just wanted him to hurt the way that she was hurting.
absolutely. And she said that. She actually said that out her mouth. She said, I said all that stuff because I wanted to hurt him like I was hurting. And that's an unfair game to play, because if you're not hurting out because of him, you shouldn't be trying to hurt him because you're hurting. That is so unfair.
And to me, she was hurting from the situation from her mother. So he was getting hurt or pain that wasn't even from a situation that, like you said, had anything to do with him. But you know what they say, hurt people hurt people. So she took
Woo!
hurt from one situation and just poured it into a situation where it did not deserve to be. Now, the day that
Absolutely.
he decided, now, the day he decided that he didn't want to take that type of engagement anymore, and he didn't want to have to go through those type of situations anymore, because the kids was very much there and involved in those situations. So even though you may wake up in the morning and you feel better and you think that it's forgotten and everything go back to normal, psychologically that memory is still stuck in them kids head. They still remember everything that you said. So you demean their father in front of them for one, but this is the same person that they have to. You understand? This is the same man that's raising them. This is their dad, and you disrespected. So at some point in time, you got it's boundaries. So mentally, you didn't only corrupt your children in that moment, because now you back to normal. That's like kind of, if you want to say, it's bipolar. One minute a person is up, the next person is down. The next person is down, but that don't mean that once you go back, everything else goes back to the way that it was. You understand? Those kids are still going to remember what went on.
Yes. And I want to say two people's comments. One is Humble says, know when not to hit the live button. I love that. And Toodle says, now they all happy now. And I want to
Right.
say this about that, Toodles, because yes, that would throw me off as a supporter, because I would want you, don't just now I want you to be happy, don't get me wrong, but I would also want you to come back and have an honest moment with me as a couple. We've seen what has happened. You can't take back what we saw. So I would want you to, for Brett to come back and say, you guys, I understood. Now he has kind of said some things, but then again, he really haven't. I would like for him to come and come front face with the supporters and say, you guys, I know that my wife was going through some things, which is why you didn't see me find the need to defend myself or do this or do
Mhm.
that, because I understood what was happening here. But to the supporters, our goal, this might be the first time you guys have experienced this, but it is not the first time this has been experienced. And I've never left my wife
Yeah.
when this has happened, because I understand it's a mental thing that's beyond me. And she is getting therapy and the proper help. And even if it's like, part of the reason also why I'm staying is because she is finally seeking some type of help to talk out her issues. I know it was behind the mother that I was being the punching bag for. You know what I'm saying? I would like for Brett to have come back and just
Mhm.
talk to the supporters head on, so it doesn't look like you're just in there getting dogged out and you just sitting there eating it. You know what I'm saying? I
Yep.
want you to walk us through it and make it make sense.
And it's not going, because for one, you could tell he's a non-confrontational person. You could
Yes.
see that right offhand. You understand? And sometimes people take advantage of non-confrontational people because they know it's but so far that person is going to go with them. So that'll make them go to the extreme limits in which it is that we seen. But that's exactly what it is that I was saying. If it's confusing to the supporters, then imagine how confusing it is to the kids.
Absolutely. And that's something I wanted to mention to you too, cuz when you was talking about rejection, I didn't want to leave the children out of that and ask How do y'all feel how rejection intertwines with the children as well? When it comes to social media in comparison to like the Queen of Kings and any other, bloggers or influencers y'all know out there who has children with a family channel or whatever. How much do y'all think rejection plays a role in kids' life when we can sometimes see parents? Now we know kids can be kids,
Major
but
part. Hmm.
yeah, how much are do we see kids being rejected of quality time, love, or whatever it is? Like, what about the kids' rejections?
Rejection is a reflection, and the rejection, we're all getting to see the reflection of it, because if these people online busy defending who they are to people that don't know them, then they're taking time away from the people that need them, which is the kids, because the content that they give and defending could be content that they could be given sharing, and that's
Ooh.
what the on a positive note, because even though times get hard, everybody have the hard times in their life, nobody lives a perfect one, but outside of that, you should be at least creating memories with the people that it should be most meaningful to, because if you're making that money, who was it supposed to be for? The people that you put here, not just for the glamorization of saying that you have it. If you're putting these kids in the most expensive places, right? But you're treating them and rejecting them in the most cheapest way, then where's the value in any of that? Okay, they in expensive places, but they're not what's of expense to you.
Yes. Hold on 1 second. Talk to the people. I'm speaking to my neighbor.
Yeah, my thing is, and y'all can totally understand this. When kids are rejected, they find other things to do. They're also watching and got a clear eye view of what's going on in their situation, to where you're also marking them as well. So if they're used to being rejected, then the dysfunction is going to pass over. They're going to start acting out the same behaviors that they see, which is surrounding them basically. Susie says, oh yes, in the drama group they'll all fight over. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's always gonna happen, Susie. If you see Tay over here with you, things that's of negative energy, you don't even acknowledge it into your space. What's for you will always be for you, and what's not will not. And I stand on that. Money will buy everything that you feel that you need for the moment, but money can't buy real love. And them kids need real love in all of them set in them situations. And they're falling by the wayside. Definitely falling by the wayside. Shelly, do you ever go in the drama is bad? Listen, all these situations, it has some type of drama to them. And I'm just gonna make an example. Even the people that's going through it on the other side, right? All of this stems from a social media couple where people disagree, right? It's to agree or disagree, but some people choose to go too far in situations where it should never be. It's supposed to be boundaries. When we come and we are displaying information, it's supposed to be for the form of information. How you display your information, that's ultimately up to you as a person, but we are supposed to be the people that are informational. So we're coming to bring the information to you, just like we're discussing this couple right now, right? What Humble Me said. Another perspective, Brett, I'd rather you expose yourself and get those. Yes, yes, I would rather him do that too. But another thing that in this couple, we're talking about Rose and we're talking about Brett. We're talking about the things that we see going on within a couple situation. We don't know these people as people in our real lives. We're just giving our opinion on what it is that we see. And from what it is that we see things that are unhealthy. And that's all it is that we choose to Speak on. I don't choose to include myself in the drama. The drama is not for me. Ain't no growth in that. And that's on period. But I hope honestly that at some point in time, Rose and Brett can find how can I say common ground. Yes, that's definitely the best way to say it. Common ground, because I've watched this couple for years on social media too. So to see the dynamics that they had together was a beautiful thing, and I don't think that in their case it was ultimately fake. I see someone that has been through some things, which is Rose, and I see some things that she needs to deal with that may be unhealthy, that may be, how can I say, tainting her spirit at this point in time. But if she continues to get the help that she needs, then at the end of the day, we may see some positivity at the end of this situation. It may not be an ultimate decline. You understand? It may be some chances that there is some help within. Because one thing that we have to remember, these people live their life online. Some people get to sweep their things under a carpet and nobody ever get to see. If you're living your real life out in front of people, then that's where people feel the need to judge. But every situation is not to judge. Some situations you can actually learn from. We all have some things that go on inside of us that we can actually find or figure out a way of either healing or dealing with it. We may be having things that we haven't healed with from today, and we all act out in our own ways. We may lash out or not have a good day, but our lash out and our no our not good days is not displayed the way that theirs are. You understand? So people don't get to give an opinion on how we dealt with the situation that we had going on. But even behind your closed doors, if you're watching these people at close, you or up close, you can say, oh, I'm a person that would never do that. But you can't say what you would do until you in another person's shoes. I believe Rose needs professional help. Yes, and that's definitely what she needs. Sometimes people need to step outside of the box that they in and talk to somebody that's not a family or friend. Because in the in the time of you venting or talking about what it is that you need to speak on, we be so worried about protecting other people's feelings that we don't actually get to the root of what it is that we're feeling, because we're only half ass saying what it is that we're saying. But when you're talking to someone that is non-judgment of you because they don't know you, and that is exactly what they're there for, you can take in a little more, a lot more. Susie said in hospital care. Sometimes people need a break. Like people don't realize, and I don't think people take it serious. What you saying is a real thing, because when people have children, postpartum, please help me. I hope I'm saying it right. But postpartum be a real thing. And if you're dealing with things in your life already, and that's something that possibly you can be dealing with, then it just is one thing hitting off of another. Especially if you're a person that already deals with depression in any type of way. And if you're not being treated, then you're going to be displaying all type of irregular, unnormal behaviors. When you see a woman cutting her hair off and not acting like her normal self, normally when you see people cut their hair off, they say that it's a renewed of life, a renewal of life, like they is a new chapter. But sometimes you can see them do that in the midst of them declining. They're in the middle of I don't give a shit mode. You understand, about nothing, not even down to the factors of possibly myself. Hey everybody coming in. Hey everybody coming in. Break room should be back shortly. She's conversating, but yes, definitely on the factors of Rose acting out how a lot of people act out. It just don't get to be seen. In hospital, she would get that private time. Yes, she needs some time off. If you've had kids since you had kids, she said the last time that she really used to or had any time away from the children is when her older kids used to go to her grandparents' house. So that means that she's been running a house with kids. She had new kids. She has a new husband. She had just got out of a past relationship. All of this is effective, and it can take a toll on the mental. And if you don't never take a time out for you, then we this is what we're going to see. This is definitely what we're going to see. And Rose is showing all the signs of a person that needs professional help. And a lot of people feel like they bigger than professional help, or them getting professional help says something about them as a person. And sometimes we can't deal with everything on our own. Sometimes we don't even recognize the thing that we're dealing with. So how do y'all feel um about the factors of after the video showing that everything was supposed to be okay and back to normal? How long do y'all think that this is going to last before something happens and she breaks down again? And do you think when she hit that live button and we get to see her break down again, do you think that is going to be able to go back to normal from there? Or will her subscribers say, you know what, at this point in time, we clearly see that you do need the help, and maybe you need to actually take a break from social media? People don't like to do that. Hey, Ebony, I didn't even see you down there, honey. How are you doing on this beautiful, blessed Tuesday? Welcome to everybody coming in. You are in the break room 411 with Tay and Tiff. We are definitely having an adult conversation on this lovely Tuesday. We are talking about Rose and Brett, the kings of queens. We're bringing y'all up to speed on the things that's going on basically with their at home dynamics. We've seen Rose over the last couple of days fall basically apart right in front of the camera. We seen Brett basically have to take the hurt that her mother put or gave to her. She returned it to a person that didn't deserve it. And in the midst of it, the only point that people feel that is important is the financial gain that they receive from the situation of it all, baby. I hope that I basically, for those that didn't know, I explained it to the best of my ability to catch you up on. But a lot of things that we are seeing be reflected is the outcome of rejection. Rose was rejected by her mother. Okay, and in situations like that, people look for love that they did not receive, which means they're not going to be able to give that love either in return, baby. So it leaves them empty. And what we're seeing is someone empty that's trying to find where they belong. That's why this woman was willing to move all the way to Hawaii with her kids and her husband. And now I think she's actually miserable and feel even more alone. She wants that mother daughter dynamic. She wants the factors of her kids possibly being able to go to their grandmother's house, or the normal workup that people feel with a family should be. It depends on the strength she has inside her ability to want better. Yes, you definitely have to want better in order to do better. And if you don't if you don't show any signs of wanting to do better, then better is not what you will ever be. Things will still be exactly the way that they is, and they will still be very much effective. They're the cutest. Yes, they are the cutest little boys ever. I swear. And the bad part about it is while she's suffering, they're getting the worst parts of her, because a mother is supposed to be a nurturer. She's supposed to be someone that's soft. And in this case, we're seeing the roles reversed. We're seeing the dad be the nurturer and the soft person, and we're seeing Rose be the aggressor and be very aggressive. Yes, Ebony, tell everybody. We definitely thank y'all for stopping by. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all here with Tay and Tiff. That's right. I will be there, Nana. I'll be there, Nana, too. Taya definitely be they Nana too. Bring them babies on over to Tay house. I'll give you a break, girl. Sometimes that's all people need is a break. Even as a mother, you should not ever feel guilty for needing your me time. Your me time is what resets you for everybody time. If you don't ever get any time to yourself, you're not going to be able to give your best self when you're supposed to show up for any or everybody else, even down to the factors of your kids. Like I said, she have the foundation and rebuild the structure with family. She's not gonna, that's gonna be hard for her to do because she's going to have to learn that too. That's not basically what she comes from. She already let us know that she was sent back and forth in between her mother and her father. Her mother had this amount of kids and her father took in this amount of kids, and they were permanent. She was the only one that was back and forth. And it almost made her feel to the fact is that she was unwanted, basically like the black sheep of the family. Every parent needs a break every now. Yes, we all have that time. It be time where we can't even go and use the bathroom by ourselves. The kids open the door and come right in and have a full on conversation. Like you ain't even sitting on the toilet. I mean, or doing whatever you doing, which is your personal business. But as a parent, mother, father, you the person that's trying to keep things all together. So you need those times to be able to come and become level headed. And if you're always in the midst of noise and everything is always moving and going, when are you going to have that time to reassess or reset? She really don't. Shelly Shell says she really don't have a relationship with her mom. No, she don't. And the bad part, Shelly, is that because she don't have a relationship with her mom, she might not actually know how to have a functioning full relationship with her kids. She possibly may ruin it by still looking for the love that she didn't get rather than pouring that love that she didn't get into the kids. The kids or dogs come in. That's right. At some point in time, you have to fight for what's right, even when it comes to yourself. When you want to be right, that's going to be your overall goal. Because you know, if you can't be right for you, you can't be right for nobody else. If you can't be good for you, you can't be good for nobody else. And if you are mentally unhealthy and you need help, then you are spreading that mental diarrhea on anybody that you come into contact with. Everybody, anybody. And it's just sad because it takes away from the mothering. If you busy online spiraling out of control rather than getting help, show people the factors that you actually getting in the help. Don't tell Tay, but I'm in the chat enjoying the show. I'll be back 2 minutes. I see you, Tiff. No, but if you actually showed the family dynamic, right? Chat, follow me on that, right? And it showed someone struggling, but someone actually going to seek help. It would make other people feel a common connection with the factors of possibly wanting to go get help for themselves or for the betterment of themselves too. It will show people that you can still function in the factors of feeling like you don't know how to function at all. I wish she lived closer. I would help her. Me too. Bring them babies, like I said, right to Tay house. We sometimes have to pick a family with care. We are at our lowest and have faith. Yes, that is the truth. And there's no sense of family dynamic when it comes to those two. Because in order for Brett to be with her, he has no connection with his family because, like she said, the first time she went over there, when she met the uncle, the first words he said to her is, "Oh, they didn't tell you I was a racist mother effer." Like, which, what type? Wait, what? Hold on, wait, what? And this is what no, I can't, ain't no way, she could be a part of that. So even if she wasn't able to find family dynamic within her family, now she can't even find it within his. And sometimes that is the downfall of biracial couples, because just because the couples are comfortable with the relationship don't mean that the family is comfortable with the relationship. And as we can see, they don't come from the same background at all. So when their backgrounds collide and she's already rejected in her background in the family where she comes from, and now for her to make her own family, because like you said, that's a very strong fact. A lot of us make the family that we did not have. But for you to then have made a family and then feel like you still lacking family because they don't have the family unit because of the nature of your color, then that's a big thing too. And the kids are definitely being gypped of a family dynamic, a damned family dynamic, because what family do they have outside of the mother and the father? When she had the baby sitting on her lap, when she was on the phone with the baby didn't even know who the mother was. The baby just carried on like everything was normal. My family would never do that one. No, my family would never either. But hurt people. And it seems like Rose's mother came from some senses of trauma and rejection. So that's what it is that she poured into her kids. And then she said that she was ABUSER in the situation with Rose's dad. And that's a major part of who she is as well. Brett needs to step up to his family. Yeah, because at that point in time, even if he stepped up to his family, I'ma just be honest, as a woman, even if at that point in time he stood up for me and he said what he said, I would never feel comfortable bringing me and my kids around those people again, because I would honestly already know what it is that they think of me. So I would feel like me being around them is all a fake and a facade. If I know that it's not even me as a person that you don't like, you don't like my kind as a whole. So that means you don't like me, you don't like my children, you don't like what it is that I come from, you don't like my existence. I mean, that's a big thing to swallow. So now we back at start A with not having nothing other than the family that we created. And if you a person that didn't have a family and you have kids, all you want is for them is to have family. Something that you didn't. Never no comfort after that. Nope. No comfort after that. Sure enough ain't. Sure enough ain't, Crenshaw. No comfort after that at all. Tusi said, but people can change. People can definitely change. But even his demeanor and the way he came at it shows that that's a person that been stuck in their ways for years. Do you understand? And just the fact is that it's not something that the mother said, and maybe that's not the actions that she showed. It showed that people come from the same background but can totally think different. But he let her know how he felt from the gate. Even if, listen, well, if they ain't let you know how I feel, I'm gonna let you know how I feel. So that way you don't even have to guess. I don't like you. And that's basically what that stood on. Imagine my kids, I'm sitting here with the adults and my kids is in the next room, and we came here because we thought that we was coming around family, and a person just basically let you know to your face that you're not really family at all. Stepping up to his family won't change the factors of what is now psychologically placed in Rose's brain. She'll never forget that comment ever again. Yes, they definitely can change spots. And if they was able to change spots, I think that they would have changed in that case a long time ago, because the kids would have been the bigger picture, even if it wasn't for the factors of the adults. If it was about the family unit or unity for the factors of of the kids, then we would see them more interacting. We don't see that. It's like they closed off from they stuck in this little world of their own. But babies change people in their heart. That is the absolute truth. Babies do change people in their heart. But when they pulled up to them people house, they had them babies with them. That did not stop that man from saying anything that he said. And he said that from his heart, because only something as terrible as that, for you to say to a person, that must be something that came from your heart, because you hold it in your heart that that's how you actually feel. Oh yes, Jesus can definitely change anyone, but a person have to want to change themselves. You could take a horse to the water, but you can definitely not make them drink. And even though everybody was drinking the water of being positive and the family was together, that didn't stop the uncle from letting it be known that he wasn't drinking from the same water that they was drinking from. So hopefully, um, just like we watching them, the family is watching them, and they will see that family is what they need for them and the kids ultimately. So hopefully that would give and will give people a change of heart and maybe even a restart. But if I'm giving my honest opinion, if someone was to say something like that to me, that's not something that will go away. I would forgive, but I would never forget. I would forgive, but I would never forget. I wouldn't be able to get over the fact is that you would be able to actually say those words. Right. And I believe that too. Amen. Open book, you absolutely right. People can change and Jesus can change people. There's people that we wouldn't have never believed that they was the people that they was if they was not to tell us their story. But if you see that this woman came on camera and let it be known that these people are they demeanor is not changing at all, and that's why she feels like she has no outlets when it comes to her kids. I can't send my kids over here to my mother. I can't send my kids over here to his mother. And even if maybe that was an option to send the kids over to the mother, now because the uncle is there, she's possibly not going to feel too comfortable sending the kids there around where she would feel that type of energy. But I'm telling you, that's exactly what they need as a couple, a outlet. They need a chance from the normal. They've been in this bubble, and even since they moved to Hawaii, they just moved even further away from family if they didn't have any already. They have to want change deep within themselves. I think that the only way change is going to come within this situation and begin to look a little bit more healthy, which is sad to say, but Brett is going to have to step up, which he already does, and take over where Rose can go and get the help that she needs and take a break from the everyday. When you trying to be 10 places in one at one time, you're going to show up someplace late. When you got too much food on your plate or your plate is too full, something is going to tend to fall off. So to be able to handle everything that is on your plate, then it would be great if she is able to go and seek the help that she needs. As a refresher, I think moving to Hawaii was the. I agree with you too, see, because it seemed like it secluded them even more. Don't get me wrong. A beautiful place is a beautiful place, but if you're not in a beautiful space, even the most beautiful is place is going to seem like punishment. Outside of being in your house and creating content, since you've been there, for the people that you choose to disagree with, not even the people that support you. What did you move to Hawaii to do? What did she move to Hawaii to do? Did she move to Hawaii just to say she could move to Hawaii? That didn't make no sense. I guess that was just maybe so, because maybe she did it just to say or just to be able to show that she can do it, because her mother lets it be known on a regular basis that she works a job, as if Rose does nothing because she's online as an entrepreneur. So if you showing people, look what I can do, look what I can do, but it's not for the fulfillment of you, that's going to be another failure too. It was just much at that time. Yeah. And it's a lot of things that's much at that time. And I totally agree. And
Away
moving
from
to some place like Hawaii, when you in the midst of possibly going through something already, that could be the cause of a crumble. That was possibly her biggest mistake. You move into a place where you know nothing or nobody, already feeling
right.
like you have nothing or nobody. So that's going to make you feel even more unsettled, to say the least.
Absolutely.
Oh, Tiff, you was down
Huh?
there sneaking and geeking in them comments, huh? Talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
don't tell Tay.
Yeah, I was enjoying the I was enjoying the show. I had been back. I was listening to you.
Yes.
I didn't want to interrupt because see you're an amazing co-host, and yeah, I was like, let me let Tay run this thing.
I was missing you, Hunte. I was missing you. But yeah, I was just basically bringing the people up on speed that I feel like this is a situation or relationship that can actually be saved if Rose goes and get the help that she needs. Maybe Brett needs to take, even though he's very active in the situation, I think she needs some time away, even if it's 3 to 4 days.
Right, I agree. I
Well,
agree.
welcome back, Tiff.
You thank you. Shelly said yes. Latae held it down. Yeah, I know. I was right here listening to her hold it down. I said, that's what I'm talking about. Because, when on Tuesdays, this is our show. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I wanted to really stamp that. So,
Ja na na.
it's Tuesdays on it's our show. And also, you guys, for anybody that don't know, our Tuesdays will not just be Queen of King based. What Tay also don't know is that honestly, I wanted to check out just our natural flow. I did not want to the first show of ours, I ain't want to really do too much pre-planning on it, because I think it's really dope to see how you naturally just vibe with somebody, you know what I'm saying, versus having a play by play in the initial set in. I already know how me and Cuzzo vibe. But yeah, so I wanted us to really kind of play it by ear and do a little catch up on where we at with the story, and bring in both of our point of views to where we are right now in the story. So yeah, this wasn't a which is why I think this live was even that much more greater. It wasn't scheduled. It was not pre-planned on the content. I ran like one
At
or two
all.
things Bye cuz, and said, she knew we was gonna be discussing the Queen of Kings today. But other than that, it may be
Say
kind of the
freestyle
the
because
subject.
if anything, I want to give you my honest opinion and my overall real feelings. I don't want to feel like I wrote down a answer that I would think that everybody would want to hear. I want to give the opinion from where I actually stand. So if I'm giving it all off the top of my head off of what I've seen. Tiff, I don't know if you can hear me, but I think you went out again. Can y'all hear me in the chat? Drop a one if y'all can hear me, cause I can't hear Tiff. I can't hear Tiff at all. So y'all can hear me, but y'all can't hear Tiff. Okay, it seemed like it disconnected her for a second. I only see myself on the screen. Well, we just gonna sit here and conversate until Tiff come back. I know she'll find her way back to the family. But another thing that I want to say and I want to touch on, and this is something that's
I
very
just wanted
serious.
y'all to know I got swallowed, so I ain't hear absolutely nothing. But
I had your back. I was pulling you up out the pond, cousin. I had
I
your
love it.
back.
I love it. I love it. Okay, okay. Long as y'all can hear me now, carry on. Tay, carry on, cuz.
All right. What I want to say something about is not only in this story, but amongst other stories, just because we talking about a female, it's not in the nature of tearing down. We all can identify something that another woman possibly is going through. So us talking through the situation is us giving our advice for the betterment of the person that we are speaking on, not for the factors of bashing. I would never want to try to tear my sister down or another whoever it is as a human being. If I see something, I'm going to speak on it, but I would never want it to be to the factors of bashing.
Yes.
that get
Yes.
that get misconstrued a lot of the time. You understand? A lot of person or a lot of people feel like if you're speaking on a situation, sometimes it's coming from a negative space. Everybody don't speak from a negative space. Everybody doesn't have a negative voice. Some people voice on certain situations can bring light to it. And if anything, you will want your voice to be that voice that brings light to a situation, not more darkness.
Mm, I completely agree. We have enough darkness people pull out with no problem. I think I completely agree with you, and that's kind of why
I'm dark enough. I don't need to be in no darkness. I might have people running all into me.
right. I'm telling you. That's why I think it's so important we had these kind of conversations. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, because I'm trying to switch devices real quick. But yeah, I think that's just real important. We had these kind of conversations and bringing back real trying to not use these things, you guys, to bring just negativity to something. But I've been preaching for the past week, y'all, about starting to use these stories, these couples, families, and things like that to try to improve behaviors, to try to shine light on how we as people can make better choices and do things different. Because just because one person got life figured out don't mean everybody that's watching you ain't trying to get clarity on something, or trying to make a decision on something, and you never know how you can help them,
Mhm.
make that happen. So
You may be going through
Yes.
something that looks familiar to me, or I might be dealing with at the time. Even in like situations, a lot of people don't even realize. People get into certain situations because they could relate to certain situations. It's something about that situation that drew them to it. Something was familiar. Even if it wasn't something that they into themselves, it could be something that they relate to because it could be something that they've seen somewhere else, if you understand what I mean. So us seeing
Absolutely.
certain situations, it don't mean that we identify. Some people identify with it within themselves because, for instance, if you a person that speaks on DV, right, you're gonna have people that come to your platform that's either dealing with DV, dealt with DV, or trying to get a understanding or a better look into the factors of what DV is and what it actually comes along with and what people have dealt with that has been within those situations. So you will want to be as informational to a person because you never know who's listening. There's a lot of seats in these crowds that may seem empty, but there's somebody that's sitting in them listening. That's why people say, "Oh, I've been in the bushes." There's been a lot of people that I've done lives, and after my live possibly go off, they'll write me a message and say, "Well, Tay, you know, I'm normally in your bushes and I normally don't comment or say this, but I felt the need to come out and let you know something that you said. It really touched me." That's my overall point because one hand washes the other and both hands is supposed to wash the face. If I see somebody that's not able to wash their face, I want to be able to help them do that.
Come through. Come through. That's what it is about, you know? Each one teach one, guaranteed to reach one. It's all about like wanting to see everybody win, everybody do better, everybody be informed, everybody being happy. You know what I'm saying? That is really what this whole thing should be about, you know. Somebody I'm gonna tell y'all another thing with this Queen of Kings thing. It's the same as with the particular saga I left. That I'm no longer touching, but that is still going on. Latte with the T still touching base on it and stuff like that. With that particular saga,
Yeah,
my end
yeah,
game.
my name was leaked today, unfortunately, I guess for them. But things like that, when you know who you are, you don't have to hide from who you is. I told them when they found my name, they should have sent me a cash app because that's where it's at.
Period. But I wanted period. But I wanted to say with that shit. Hold up, y'all. I almost lost. I forgot what I was about to say. Hold up. With the side we're in, sun current. Oh yeah, got it. My goal was always to see the family win, and anything that I cover or talk about, and that's why I'm saying I can use that as an example because no matter what, my goal is to see a family win. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
however that has to happen. You know what I mean? So it's no different than with Queen of Kings. Whatever happens that that family can win, I'm down for that. That's what I want to
Root
discuss when I'm
for.
discussing families and things like that. I want to discuss how can we have done something different to show someone else that might come across this problem, they might can avoid the same fates or bad decisions or whatever, you know. You somebody out there learned that when you're angry, that might be a bad fucking time to go live. When you're angry at somebody,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
like such as your spouse, you know, and things like that, because you end up
Everything ain't
give
for everybody.
come through. You end up giving up information and stuff that you when the smoke clears, you might regret people even knowing. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, why did I say that? Because now when you want to go back to what you was saying, you done put this particular thing in everybody's mind. So sometimes it's hard to come back from things that are just meant to be said out of anger or whatever.
Basically,
Yeah,
basically, you saying you can't tell a million people you can't tell a million people a person ain't shit, but then when you ain't saying that no more, you can't still expect them to still feel that way.
period,
You just
period,
told us the other
and
day this person ain't whatever this, and now because that's what we going with, you no, it don't go that way. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Everything is not for
period.
everybody.
It just ain't. It just ain't, and that's the biggest things that I want people to realize. Sorry, y'all, I had to walk to my car real quick, so I hope y'all can still hear me. I needed a cigarette. Um, I hope that people learn from these types of things. Like, yeah, it ain't all about to make fun of another couple and hope that, people fall to their demise for content. It's no. We have plenty of families and couples that are coming up and especially in content creating every day, and it is risky, you know what I'm saying? And if people only point out the good stuff of everything, we would never be cautious about nothing. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like you have to, even with risk, you still have to be cautious. Like, you know what I mean? Like, period. And anything that I do, like even when it comes to gambling, let me tell y'all something. Even though nothing is a sure bet, I like great odds. You understand? With anything I do in my life, I don't just, when it comes to my actual life, I don't just throw something at the wall and see what sticks. Then that ain't how I carry my life. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Mm-mm.
Things gotta mean something, and I just think that we have to be a people that don't make it like a punishment to love. Don't, like, people will treat needing to take time off of social media like it's a punishment. Like, oh my god, I'm showing a weakness if I don't show up every single day for this, that, and the third. You're the only
Mm.
person that is responsible for your mental health, you and God. you know and once it's out of your hands, because it should never leave God's hands, but once you take it in your own hands and it's out of there, you don't revert back to God. That's how we lose ourselves, or whatever your higher power is to you. you know
Mhm.
um we have to draw strength from somewhere. And I just think we act like social media is the end all be all, and it's not. You can't do nothing if your health ain't intact, mentally or otherwise, physically, anything. You got to be taking care of yourself. In the same way, I give y'all this example. When she was mad, going off and wanted to separate and all of this good stuff, she was talking about the reason of her separation was because of the negative things social media was saying and making her feel. Like, it was never about what Brett was doing to her. The first day she introduced the separation, it was never, I want to separate because my husband don't treat me right, or my husband talks shit to me, or do this or do that. It was, well, social media thinks I don't do anything. I'm tired of the negative words and the this, that, and the third. And I was sitting there waiting for her to say something about Brett, but it was all about
Never happened.
the supporters. I'm like, so you throw your marriage, it's your husband you need um space from, but social media is the problem. But when someone said, Rose, you need help, or Rose, you need to forget, I hate you having no friends or something to talk to, she said, well, that's what I have you guys for. Don't you think that that is what your husband should be for? Like,
Mm-hmm.
the what she showed us in that moment is really what social media meant to her, and it's everything. She needed a break from everything but social media.
But social media. Except, I'm gonna just tell you one thing that I had to learn, and this is that something that people got to take into their own lives as well. Sometimes when you upset in that moment, you need to take a moment, because what you saying, a lot of times people will say, oh, when a person is upset or drunk, that's when they speak their real feelings. You understand what I mean? And in the heat of
Yep.
the moment, you would never want to say something to somebody that you can't ultimately take back. And I would realize that a lot of the time, in the factors of being angry, even down to me as a human being, when you anger, your regard goes down a little bit for another person's feelings, because you're just in the heat of the moment. So you're just displaying what you're feeling versus thinking about what it is that you're saying. And a lot of the
Yes.
that's where it goes left, because we'll sit and be upset, for example, and we'll be talking, people be talking to their homegirls, and oh yeah, he don't do this and he don't do that. And then next week, when you and your man, or whoever it is that you done made right with the situation is okay, now you expect for people to still see a person that way. Everything that goes on in your personal business, you shouldn't bring to other people. Sometimes you have to actually manage things. Some things are supposed to stay behind closed doors. When you and that person went and y'all got married, it was for better or worse of you two people. It wasn't for the better or worse of the outside people that you chose to bring in.
Period. Period. And I completely agree.
Yeah, I would get
Period.
mad. I would get mad at my husband, and I would be on the phone, and I'll be talking to my sister, and I'm going off and this, that, and the third, and now I don't went to sleep. Okay, I done smoked my weeds. Now I'm minding my business. I don't feel that way no more. Now I wake up and I call her in the morning, and I'm sitting here and I'm drinking my coffee, and now I'm in a good mood. Like, hey girl, what you doing? And she like, nothing. What you doing? And I'm like, oh, sitting here with so and so. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So now, what does that cause?
Mm, 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 mm.
Happened. So her sister is the social media. She came to social media. She, even though nobody didn't believe her, she said everything that she thought people would agree to the factors of Brett not being, which we could actually see through if you watched them. And if you haven't, you should catch up rather than just going from the story being told where it's at. But she expected in the heat of her being angry and displaying her feelings in that moment, for people to take that for his always type of character.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I'm saying was crazy. She got to be careful. She got to be careful because that's the type of stuff that make you lose credibility, and it's the type of stuff that make your partner lose his credibility, because you have to understand the people are watching you all over the world, and you have business dealings and whatever with whatever. This is your character, your life, or whatever. And I just think like it is sad, and it's something she needs to be careful of, because she would not want that man to get up here and drag her, lie on her, and just say whatever it is he wants to say in the heat of the moment. Like that does not make it okay. It don't make it okay when you're drunk. It don't make it okay at never. You know what I'm saying? And
Because then you forget who's your loyalty actually to. Is it to the person that you with, or is it to social media?
thank you. Thank you. Because social media kicking your back in, so you gonna kick your husband back in. That you gotta make it make sense. You know what I mean? Got to make it make sense. But shit, so y'all, whoever's left up in chill, we playing this live for an hour and went to. Ain't that something? Man,
Mm-hmm.
when you're having a good time with the ones you love, that's how it go. You know what I'm
And
saying?
that's
I
because it's
love it.
not scripted. It wasn't rolled or It's something. It's just going along as it's supposed to, a natural flow.
A natural flow, as it should and would be, with the good old Big Tay and Big Tiff in the building. We have
And I'ma
enjoyed.
just be honest, Tiff. You know, Tay. Normally, I stay to my platform. If you notice, Tay stay out the way, and this is something that I was definitely excited about doing because more women, more people should be able to come together. And knowledge is power. Even though
Yes.
people get monetary gain from being on YouTube, I'd rather get monetary gain in areas where I also need knowledge to be gained. If I can get information from my fellow sister or a person that's within a group of my surroundings, why not reach into that pool and get something out that can be useful to me? So a lot
Yeah.
more people coming together, we'll get to see a lot more things. People come on
Hmm.
YouTube to watch rocks.
Yep. So
Why
do.
not come on YouTube to be able to see people be able to actually have a conversation about things that affect all of us, not just the people that's dealing with the situation, but all of the people that's also in tune with the situation. And I'm not talking about the negativity in the situation. We all done dealt with some dysfunctional shit growing up, or even
Come
some shit
through.
that we brung into our life on our own that we possibly can get knowledge from, even in the factors of business. If I'm gonna kick it with people, I want to kick it with people for the betterment of me. So if I can come together with a group of people and we all can grow equally, I'm not gonna want to spout no, she growing bigger than me. You see her numbers, you see. No, I don't. Because that's not what I'm looking for.
Period. Period. And I think this is wonderful because I told another content creator recently that's near and dear to me. I said, throughout this time, not everybody is in this thing for negativity. Not everybody is in this thing to just focus on arguing, beefing, and whatever else is going on out here, and that can happen in such sectors or anywhere else. Y'all, there's controversy everywhere, but it's very hard to uh pull controversy out of positivity, controversy out of just regular knowledge and coming together as women, and even let's not forget our brothers, as well, because we have I don't just want to do the Tiff and Tay ain't gender adjacent. It's at all. Hold on, y'all. I accidentally cut on a fan which has these whatchamacallits hitting each other. Hold on 1 second. Can you hear me?
Basically,
Tay?
today, and I'm gonna definitely agree with you. I didn't come here as a person that's in a saga. I didn't come here as a person that came from a side or on a side. I came here as Tay, a
Yes.
human being, someone that's still a human being outside of anything that I choose to speak on, because there's still a me.
Yes. Exactly. And I think we all I just had realized too that, like, when it comes to the purpose of at least what my channel is for, which it's always have been to promote health and God and laughter and important information. And so I'm like, well, covering the couples or controversial things is cool, but what is it that I want to be my purpose or point in when I'm covering a certain story? Is it to choose one side or the other of whoever
Nope.
in a couple and bring negative light towards one or this, that, and the third? No, my focus from this point and has always been to give it all truth. When they cover things, bring the
Mhm.
truth and see how you can actually how negative things could be avoided, because you might can't change what has happened within a couple that you're covering already, but when you have, like I said, it's bigger than just the people we're covering. It's the people that's watching us that we don't know what everyone is
Mhm.
experiencing. There is somebody on here experiencing something, no matter what you talk about or discuss. There's somebody out there that it can resonate to. So you can't just always appease to the problem of one set of people. You know, if you've
Mhm.
covered that already, or how to deal with this, that, or the third, even with domestic violence, you know, I spent the year covering that and abuse and stuff like that. But there is much more that we all go through, even besides that. You know, I want to for us to get together and talk about finances and budgeting, because everybody ain't come on here to pretend to be rich. And you don't, if you are rich, you don't stay rich without a plan and you know, investing and saving and budgeting.
Right.
You know what I mean? Um and it's people that want to have those conversations. There's people out here that might struggle with how to build their credit back, or how to start, you know, how to shop in a budget friendly but still,
Mhm.
you know, in a good way, where you're not cutting every corner, but where you can figure other ways out to stretch your dollars. Like, them is conversations that I love to have. You know what I mean? Because we've all been somewhere, whether this person had financial issues, or this person struggles with a blended, being a blended family. Like, you have people
Right.
out here that don't have children together but have a lot of children together, if you will, out there. And I know this, I've experienced this in my own real life, where I know a couple who they have like literally about 8 kids between them. You know what I'm saying? The male has four and the woman has four. They don't have kids together. And that's an interesting dynamic when you have 4 kids of getting to know and acclimating to in a relationship or a marriage, and then the other person has a handful of kids to get to know and acclimate to. It's just a lot, you know.
Mhm.
I even want to discuss you know, same gender families, you know what I'm saying, and the dynamics of that.
Because
And
that's a big thing now.
what you say, baby?
I said yes, because that's a big thing now.
It surely is. So I'm like, you know, I want to get down to some of this stuff that everybody, you know, somebody out there that's relating to different things. And we need to tap in more to, you know, other people's stories and problems or testimonies, you know, because it ain't all about pointing out problems and stuff. I want us to, you know, share accomplishments and goals, and talk about things that we've worked towards that, and you know, and let it be encouragement to somebody else that's trying to work towards something that might not see the end of the tunnel, or might go through, you know, need a little motivation. Who
Right
knows?
now, I'm in the midst of one of my goals, me coming here on YouTube every day. Because for one, you break generational curses with your children because it shows them anything that you put your mind to, you can do. On top of the fact is that I have millions or multiple people in a day listening to me. That's a
Yes,
that's a privilege. That's a
absolutely.
goal. That's a goal. When I had one subscriber or two subscribers, I already was talking to people as if I had 1,000 or two. Because my whole thing is I wanted my voice to reach people. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Tiff. I'm just so modest that even the amount of people that my voice have reached, it still surprises me.
Oh yeah.
It still surprises me when you got people saying, "Oh, I'm listening to you in the UK," and "Oh, we listening to you over here in Africa, in this place and that place." I'm thinking like, wow, people across the world know who we are. So if we're gonna give them something to listen to, why not make it something good to show them that if this is something that you wanted to do, you can do it too. And we have things because we're human people, and we can tell you our stories and maybe they can be relatable to you outside of talking about people that's just on social media, because we're humans off of social media.
I
If I didn't have a
Absolutely.
if I didn't have a good Wednesday, I want to be able to come to my supporters and be like, listen, I had a situation, even if that's why I started a thing called Tell Tech. Because sometimes we all just need somebody to talk to relate to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. And yeah, we'll definitely be tapping into Telltale. Can't wait to get in on that and Telltale some of my motherfucking problems. Shit. Like I just
That's
got
right,
hit up
because
by
you
like
know I have my ashtray ready, girl.
you feel me? I done got set up here while on this live. Well now I'm inside, but I have troubles now. I got ate up by like 35 mosquitoes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got troubles. You feel me? I got some testimonies myself. No, let me stop. But for real though. But yes, and I wanted to piggyback off. Oh yes, I know what I was gonna piggyback off of. Like Tay said, and this is a great example of that. You guys, I had already experienced, streaming to we've all had people come in to our chats and say, hey from the UK, hey from such and all this and stuff, right? Well, how about this? Tay reminded me of this. I remember being so surprised and ecstatic about the fact that when I covered the Royals, y'all, my percentage became 28% UK. My viewers out of 100% was 28% UK. And I was like, wow. And the reason why I said this is because Cousin Tay had reminded me that like one thing we also have to make sure that we're doing and bringing to the table is there's things going on all over the world. And if you're not speaking on things beyond what's happening in your hood, your city, your state, this,
Right.
that, and the third, you will not relate or be relatable to people like all those people in that came to me in the UK and some stuck around. Shout out to the constant UK subscribers and shout out to the UK straight like that. But
Shout
if
out.
me covering that story, which was something that they directly could relate to, I would not have had gotten probably a good 200 or 300 or who even knows, maybe even 500, maybe even 1,000, who knows, of new subscribers from the UK. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have got 28% viewers from a whole nother country. Like and I ain't gonna say I wouldn't have, but at that one time during covering those Royals, that was a steady thing. And I'm like, wow, you can't forget about the things going on around the world because the world is watching. We think just because we're in our quiet little cities or towns or this, that, and the third, that we're not, this YouTube thing stretches worldwide, not nationwide, worldwide. So, with over 60 million channels and 5% of that, only 5% of that is content creators or less
Mhm.
than 5%. So that's a lot of supporters. That's 59 million people that have, and 30, I think it's about 36 million active, meaning on YouTube on a regular. That's a lot of people to be
Mhm.
reached.
I totally agree. And that's why if you notice for those
Hey
that may know me
Justin.
from right, hey Justin, for those that may know me from the sector, but if you've actually looked at my overall channel, there's many layers of tech. And one layer that I take serious, if anybody know me, is the layer of being a mommy. Do you understand what I mean? So not only do I just talk about the factors of drama, but I also make content for my kids to be able to show their friends. Because when my kids go to their friend's house or they're out in a place, they be proud the fact is to say, my mommy do YouTube. Let me show you our video. You understand? So you don't want to be the type of person to just lock yourself or keep yourself in a box. You want to spread yourself not thin, but in multiple places because you never know who you could reach. And if your point is to overall reach as many people as possible, then you have to tackle as many things as possible. Like one thing that I wanted to talk about on this channel at one point in time is something that a lot of people deal with, male and female. A lot of men don't talk about it because they feel like they would be judged for it, but the M word, you understand what I'm saying? A lot of people
Yes.
are messed up adults because they was touched as children. So they're trying to live a life as a grown up, but that child inside of them has yet to heal.
Absolutely. Yes, I think we definitely should talk about
And
that.
that's why we have so many same sex homes. That's
Yeah.
another reason why.
Yes. I want to welcome to the stage one of my other sisters from another mister, Miss Humble Me Hype, Queen Unique, affectionately known to us. Welcome to the stage, baby girl, with Tiff and Tae. What's happening?
Hey,
What's
beautiful.
happening? Two of my favorite TNTs in the building, the bomb duet. I just popped up here to say I absolutely love this duet.
Oh,
When
thank
I say
Wait.
you.
queen,
We
I,
both said it at the that makes me feel good. I'm serious. And
man,
Me
I
you
too.
had
support me like no other. I definitely appreciate you, honey.
Man,
Me
Tiff,
too.
Tay, when I say like I've been waiting on this Tuesday so much, I was actually on, and I hope she's still in the building. Open Book. I actually reached out to Open Book, and outside of, I know we were here tonight to talk about the Rose, the Queen of Kings, but because of YouTube, like just like I get from all of y'all platforms, I pull so much outside of the stories that you all follow and cover because I look at you all as queens, y'all. And I gotta say, tonight was Two Turn Tuesdays on the Humble Me Hype platform, and I had reached out to Open. I hope my baby is still in the building because I want her to know how much she is appreciated. But I had just reached out to Open over the weekend about this very thing, having a safe space to go to where we see all this other stuff on the internet where people are getting bags and like making money and just like degrading their families and pulling their families down a hole. And I had reached out to Open, and y'all, I'm getting ready to be very transparent. Today been a day where I thought I was gonna be two turn on Tuesday, and God took me in a whole other direction and really has been making me tap into myself. And what I have not been seeing is a lot of, I'm just gonna use the term the black family, you know, what I call the missing family on these airwaves. I
Mm,
was just speaking to
I like
Open.
that one.
that's deep.
Man, the missing family. I was just speaking to Open on I think it was Sunday. I can't even remember because it seemed like my days run together when I get into these stories. But I was just speaking to her about me not really running away from God, but I get stubborn with God where He blesses us with these platforms to reach the masses, and you know, different people, different situations, different honestly opportunities to be able to speak on what we know. And y'all, when I say I missed my own platform tonight, and I was late to Tiff and Tay because I had to go into a counseling session because of the anxiety that I had been feeling from these stories that, you know, we all encountered the saga together. And then I was introduced to this Queen of Kings, and it triggered some things inside of myself, my family, and my own platform, because a lot of the things that I've been hearing, myself and my husband, July 3rd, we celebrated 21 years married.
Ooh,
And
congratulations.
Beautiful,
thank
beautiful.
you. Thank you. We celebrated 21 years married, and still celebrating. I don't want to give the enemy no room. We are still celebrating 21 years married. And inside of just the time that I've been following these sagas, it triggered, you know how we'll get up here and we can do our things because we consider ourselves content creators, influencers. I prefer social media personalities, where I am one of those creators, so to speak, that brings their real life. And it had triggered something inside of myself and inside of my marriage, because we do have a real life testimony. And I love the terms that you ladies use. We do have a real life testimony of domestic violence. We have a testimony of adultery. We have a testimony of families not liking or, being able to love on one another. And I was just telling Open, I called to her and I actually cried to her. I was like, Open, God is telling me to speak because I'm not seeing enough of families who made it through and how we got through. And so when I heard that on the platform with Tiff and Tae tonight, it was just like I told Open, another confirmation of God saying you're being blessed with these platforms to tell your story. Yes, it is okay to follow these stories, show hindsight, highlight the things that families may be going through. But when you are blessed with a platform like Tiff, Tay, Open, Shelly, people who have actually lived, I've lived domestic violence. Guess with who, y'all? The same person I celebrated 21 years with. Who did I, go through adultery with? The same person that I'm celebrating 21 years with. So I just want to thank you, ladies, for being not only a space where you are making us knowledgeable of what's going on in the world, but you are also shedding light and helping people get through and get to a point where we are ready to speak. We are ready to say, okay, yes, there is domestic violence in marriages. There is adultery. There is hurt. There is pain. There is family, trauma. But how do you get through? And I'm one of those platforms where me bringing myself to and my family, I can't just leave, say myself, me and my family, bringing them to the airwaves. I want to be one of those platforms where we can say, okay, here's how we break down domestic violence. Here's how we got through. Now, we're not always sure if what worked for us will work for somebody else, but there are stories of where it doesn't end in divorce. It doesn't end in death. It doesn't end in, and I can say my husband has done some stuff. I have done some stuff where there are stories where we don't have to drag your partner publicly to get to a personal testimony. And I just want to thank these ladies, these platforms, Shelly, Open, Tiff, Tay. There's so many of you ladies who y'all think y'all just covering a regular story and this is what y'all do. Y'all are actually saving marriages. Y'all are helping families get through. Y'all are helping families. Y'all are not only leading us to water, but y'all are giving us tidbits of now how do you drink? Your throat is all, it's swollen and it's hurt from all this pain. How do we still trust this process? How do we get through? And I came here simply tonight to say that I am so excited and I'm so I'm in an uproar for what God is going to do with you ladies. Because when I say there have been times where I might be going through a mess in my house and I can't jump on live, but I come to you ladies panels and I know the story is about this person or this person, but you guys always have a word that brings us, I can say my family because y'all know I watch with my family. Like when it's family appropriate, I watch with my family. You all have gotten our family through some things that we have not been able to get through on our own. So here tonight on what should be Two Turn Tuesday on the Humble Me Hype platform, I just came to, walk this little red carpet that Tiff be having over here for us to, express ourselves. And I'm appreciative of what you ladies bring. So I just want y'all to keep going. There are families, there are queens, there are situations, there are circumstances out there that need women like y'all to keep going so that we are continuously strong enough to be able to tell our testimony. I am so excited for what God is doing with you ladies. I'm so excited for what God is doing with your platforms, with your chats. I hope that he continues to bless your platforms, your homes, and continue to bless your voice so y'all can continue to bring forth a word that families like myself need, families that our platforms need. Y'all have no idea the uproar of just manifesting the greatness that we see in ourselves. And sometimes it takes somebody else to come through. So Tiff and Tay, y'all did y'all big one tonight. I call y'all, our family has officially had hashtag y'all TNT, the bomb duet. And we are excited for all of y'all platforms on all levels. Thank y'all so much for giving us a voice, for giving us a space where we can be able to say, yeah, I went through domestic violence and I got through it. I went through this and I got through it, and giving us a platform to be able to say, this is how. So I'm excited for God to, just work, continue to work so we can show one another how you actually get through. It's not just a story we're covering. This is an actual family. And I love that about you guys. And I just thank you.
Mm, Queen
You ain't give
Unique,
two words.
don't move real quick. Tay, I'm gonna let you have a word with Queen, then I'm gonna have a word with her before she disappear on me.
I ain't
Yeah,
going
and
nowhere, baby. I love y'all so much, but I'm listening.
I'm gonna let you know. Your word was a word because just like we inspire you, y'all inspire us. Just like Tiff said, if it ain't about the supporters, it would be no us. If we didn't have people listening, even though we was talking, our word would go unheard. So to know that it's not going on deaf ears, and just like right now, we're able to communicate. Your words resonated with me, just like my words resonate with you. It may be a day when I come online and you may be the sister that pull me through. So even though you come and you seek the how can I say, the comfort of knowing that other people are going through possibly the same things, it keeps people like me human to know that I am human as well. And people need to know that there is human things still going on. You don't have to live up to somebody else's what they feel that the typical life should be.
Absolutely.
Everybody is different for a reason. Do you understand? But to be able to understand who you are and find your reason is the best thing to be able to possibly do. And when you could connect to other people to get a clearer view of the reason you may be trying to understand, it makes you feel like, you know what? I know I can. I know I
Absolutely.
can.
Absolutely. And before Tip, before you speak, I just want to go with Tay for a second. Tay, I be in your chat. I'm in your chats, girl. But when I came across you, Tay, I was at that point I was living in a hotel, and because I was in my own situation living in that hotel, I knew the situation that you were going through, and never once did I hear you stop your flow. You did what you did from that location, and if people don't know, it ain't my business to put out. But tell you, I think you know where I'm coming from, right?
And of course, 'cause I put it
Okay,
out there myself because it's
okay,
not
okay.
what you go through, is ultimately always what you go through.
Absolutely. So when I saw you in that light, you were the one who gave me the courage to actually pick back up my device, because I would crop out my background. I would only record from a certain area, and my kids would be like, "Mommy, why we got to do this part again?" You know what I'm saying? Like when you go to edit your videos, and we are real life family, and I didn't want people to know. And tell you what brought me in, like just locked me in with what brought me to you, and then locked me in with you, is when I realized what you were doing. And you never once let that stop your shine or your show. And it gave me motivation to say, you know what, I can pick up this camera. There's a reason that I'm here, and people need to know that reason. So I just thank you, Tay. And then it was ironic enough that we both were blessed with our homes around the same time. And it
Talk
gave me
about
that
it.
motivation to say, you know what, it's okay to speak. It's okay to tell people why you were in that situation. It's okay to
Never
let
know
people know that you
who
were
could
there.
possibly be going through the same thing that you are going through.
Absolutely.
And being that
Absolutely.
I understood that I was going through my test, and it was for me to learn my lesson. So what I was going through, it wasn't something that was to hinder me. It was something to put a restart in me. So I'm not going to
Absolutely.
shame my growth. And a lot
Absolutely.
of people wouldn't have never known if I didn't told them or tell them.
Absolutely.
So my
Absolutely.
testimony is for somebody like you. It's not for the people that didn't take it in, because if you took it in for what it worth, you seen the
Absolutely.
growth and not the hurt.
I did. I saw all growth. I saw motivation. I saw you picking up that camera every day, and I was like, God, I would literally pray every day, like, God, give me this strength, because as mothers, we know what we want, and that we know what we want and need in that area of our life. As wives, we know what we need in that. As being everything for everybody else, but as being for me a social media personality who wanted to be able to tell my story, Tay, it was because of you. I have been homeless so many oftentimes with Hurricane Florence and then other situations. But when I was finally locked into your page, I never even once, like, I was already getting the Brianna and all that other story from everybody else. But when I came to your house or your home or your dwelling, wherever you were, putting out this message from, that's what locked me in. And I was like, okay, God, that's my vessel, God. That if she can do it, God, why can't I? And I'm just so thankful for you, Tay, because had it not been for you, and like we see the other person that's in the hotel and what she doing right now and doing all that stuff, but it was because of you, Tay, that I saw you being diligent. You went, Tay, and I don't even know if you know this on your own. I was on probably about a year in before I ran across you into my what we consider being homeless or without the structured home, as people would call it. I was about a year in before I ran across you. And when I
Mhm.
saw you in that situation, and you would just be so dolled up, like, man, forget the environment. Listen to my message. Tay, I've been locked on you ever since.
He's
And I
not
don't know if you
colorful.
know how
Daughter,
powerful
he
you
not
are.
colorful for no reason. My hair is colorful because that's my spirit.
Tay, you are at my 8-year old Tay. Like just this morning, we were on the replay with your lives at like 5 o'clock in the morning this morning because my husband got to be to work early, so we jumped on because we saw you was live. And Tay, when I say your message is so far beyond these other stories, and I'm one of those people who, like, I walk in my vision. Everybody who follows me knows what my vision brings. I go to creating, and Tay, and I'm speaking it into your future because God has already shown it to me, because He doesn't place me on a path without giving me vision. Tay, your platform gonna go so far beyond the stories that you cover. And when your story actually hits and you give it to us the way I see God laying it out for families like mine who went through being homeless, who didn't have the motivation, who didn't have the strength, I'm so excited for what you're getting ready to bring, Tay. Just know I will be tuned in for that. I appreciate you helping us not be afraid of our background anymore. I'm so thankful for you, Tay.
I appreciate every word you said tonight, because what we go through is who we are, and you could never be ashamed of what made you the person that you are by far. And I wanted my kids to know, no matter what we go through, you still have to be appreciative that God gave you, and He picked us. That gave us
Absolutely.
another chance to make our day today better than our day yesterday. And my
Absolutely.
goal was to keep a smile on my kids' face no matter
Absolutely.
what we went through, and no matter
Absolutely.
what we went through, my kids never knew no different, because they seen mommy on some, listen, wait, we in a date. My kids today, if you ask them, they would never even know that we was in a situation, to tell you the
Period.
truth.
Period. Period. I see Tiff
It
Fanner
is.
is something that's stuck with God. Absolutely. Because I thought I was here for another reason. And because of these platforms, I thought I was here for a saga. And through
I
these
gotta I'm
platforms with
sorry, I don't
God,
mean to
I
cut
was
you
here
I
for
don't mean
another
to
whole
cut you
purpose. And I'm
off,
so
right?
appreciative.
But I don't mean to cut you off, but a little joke just came to me, right? My daughter, when we used to be in the hotel, she's 14. Everybody know who Mumu is if you follow me, right? She
Yeah.
would be telling her friends, "Oh yeah, cause we rich," and I would be sitting there thinking to myself, what the, what?" But then I had to really pat myself on the back. Do you understand what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Because it's not about the material things. We was rich in
Absolutely.
spirit. We was rich in the
Absolutely.
process of knew where we was going and knew we wasn't gonna be back where we was at.
Absolutely. Our family lived in a suite. Every like between Hurricane Florence, COVID, and then our most recent run in. We start because of you. One of the reasons that we started to actually hashtag, and if y'all notice, like y'all see y'all talking hashtag, I keep it real quick. Boom, click on it. But we started to call it the Sweet Life. and it just fit so perfect because we were living in a suite. But no, once we were able to pick up that camera and that device again, nobody even knew. Nobody, all of our I hate the word supporters, but our supporters, our church family, our schools, when we finally said, you know what, we homeless. This is where we live. We're living the sweet life. It just became a thing. And I'm so thankful for you for giving our family that hashtag, for us being able to just find something in, forget the saga. We found something in your family, Tay, that helped our family get through, and you gave us the sweet life. And we appreciate you so much for that.
Thank you, baby girl.
I'm gonna piggyback real quick off of all of that, and first say thank you to Humble Me Hype for coming up here, and even with you explaining about what it is that you want to see, and this, that, and the third, you ended up actually being it, and moving right into action right here on the platform. You talked about wanting to hear the voices of our people and their
Absolutely.
testimonies and share our stories, and you went right in there and led by example. And I want to personally say shout out to that. Y'all, one thing is for sure, Humble Me Hype is correct. I've spoken about it a lot. I'm sure we all have. That I most admired this like sector and stuff like that, because even in spite of the things we was covering, there was still a place for personal stories and connection. That's one
Absolutely.
thing that kept me in the saga. Wasn't just to go head to head with one person or the other. It
Absolutely.
was there was goodness that I found within the saga. There was unity. That was a beautiful thing. There was people grabbing these links left and right. It went from having people, supporters all over the panels all the time, to supporters barely wanting to be seen outside of the bushes. And that's when
Absolutely.
you've gotten to a weird place. Yeah, we see a lot of people out here, but you would be surprised how many you don't. They
Absolutely.
ain't unsubscribed. They ain't went nowhere. They still supporting everybody, this, that, and the third. But you have people that don't eat. They want to send you something, but don't even want their name going across the screen. You have people that, was used to a certain dynamic, as was I. You know what I'm saying? I remember hearing, I think I shouted Miss Lisa out on this because she was one of the first. On platforms, and not the first. I can't quote that, but I'll say she was definitely one of a first few that was, getting up on these, grabbing these links, sharing their stories. It became a place that wasn't just for the host. It became a safe place for the supporters as well, to feel like they had a voice and wasn't just something to look down upon and talk to down in the chat, but bringing them up on your, letting motherfuckers know this is an equal playing field. You know what I'm saying? I
Absolutely.
might be the one to crank the live up, but it ain't nothing if we not here together.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
Straight
Uh-huh.
like
Absolutely.
that. So
That part.
Absolutely.
I thank y'all for the rapport, and the dialogue that happened just here a few minutes ago, as I listened in and saw two beautiful women talk about how one woman's shamelessness inspired her to realize that the things that she was going through wasn't meant for her to be ashamed of, and
Absolutely.
to hide behind until it looked like what it was supposed to others. Latte showed a lot of the world what it's like to have joy in your heart while you sit
Absolutely.
and showing the people your crate on the ground. Now we just gonna go
Absolutely.
ahead and talk about my testimony with these two sisters just a minute
Absolutely.
ago.
Let's talk
You know,
about it. Let's talk
she
about it.
Talk
she
about
showed
it.
us what it looked like to engage in a crowd so well that people saw your background, but it was a picture of Tay. It looked no different than any other background of promotion
Absolutely.
or whatever the case may be. No one
Tay was in the
questioned
closet,
that
and
that
Tay was in the closet.
I'm telling you.
Period.
And even when the
Period.
one time you showed us the bathroom at one And you, I think it was you that said, it could have been just the closet, but I felt like you had said this
No,
was
it's the
shower
bathroom
curtain.
too. I used to get versatile
Yes.
there.
Right.
And now that Tiff says that, it was actually that live that I saw, because my bathroom in my hotel had the same little towel rack, and I was like, "Yo, she doing this for real? Like, let's get into it."
Yes, let's
Right.
get it. That's it. It
And
don't
that
matter where
is
you at. Let's get it. That's what it's about.
Yes, and that was so inspirational to so like Queen Unique, who had said, shoot, I wasn't even coming on at all because I was in the exact same circumstances, and when you came up on here and you telling us that this is what you've been doing, and we watched you, do you want to know what's the crazy thing is that Tay showed us that when you have a true support system and audience, now they're listening to your words. They're too busy listening to what you're trying to tell them, that they're not worried about is that background a shower curtain or a regular background, or is she in the closet?
Absolutely.
No, all they know is
Mhm.
that the smile on her face ain't look no different for nobody to think that anything was different. You know,
Absolutely.
the message was still the message of Latte, no matter if it was coming from the closet, the bathroom, the moon, or whatever. They was there for Tay, and that's what it
Brian
showed us,
Park.
that
Let's do it.
when you
Look, even Brian Park, honey. If I had to go in the grass and scream with my little mic, that's what Tay was gonna do, and my spirit wasn't gonna change, no matter where it was gonna be done at.
I
mm-hmm,
know that's
I'd be in
right.
that
yes,
bathroom
so,
I'm
just
thankful.
echoing. My kids would be in the other room screaming, "Free ride, bitch!"
and what's crazy and what I also loved was when during this time, and can't nobody tell me different because I was there. Let's be clear here. Now, I have been a Latte's World supporter for quite some time. Used to be in the
Period.
bushes at first, and this was before she was even covering the LaTruth soccer. Just thought I would throw that message out
Because
there.
my
How,
kids gonna forever be my biggest content.
but check it out. During this whole time, y'all, where she was transitioning to from one area of life to another, blah blah blah. Let me tell you something. I was watching Tay the whole time and almost like tripping out at the fun that her children were naturally having. These mukbangs, these all this beautiful food and drinks and stuff, that it was like Tay was an experience, is an experience. Do you hear me?
Right.
To where I'm seeing her kids do more and experience more in the time of her testimony, and in the time of her where it might not been straight darkness, but the light might have been not as bright as it was when you in that building stage. You understand? Everybody got a building stage.
Mhm.
Don't come in here and be
Hmm.
fronting for the free 99. We all, including myself. You know what I'm saying? I ain't always owned everything I owned. I ain't always have done everything I've done and been everywhere that I've been. There was a time where I was in a building stage. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
that's just anybody in life. If you're not building, you're not elevating. You ain't going no
Absolutely.
higher.
Absolutely.
Sometime the road, I'm one of those people that if it ain't no road to where I'm going, I'll pave the road myself, brick
Yeah,
by brick.
That's
absolutely.
right. That's
Absolutely.
You
right.
understand? No, I ain't got to use the road that was already paved and already walked. Now I can do just. It might take a little more work, but I bet you the reward will be a lot more worth it. But them
Mhm.
kids, though, let me get back to them kids real quick. Watching those shorts, and I mean the stuff that they would be eating, I'd be like, "Oh, that look good." Oh, what is? I remember something that looked like it was on a damn rainbow bagel, y'all. I said, y'all know I like colorful shit too, That's why that's Cuzzo. That's Cuzzo. And me and my other cousin that I showed y'all looks like Tay. It reminds me of Tay and all of that. She's a colorful person too. we like bright things and neons and just, you know, we
Sparks.
she oh yes, and she definitely loved white, and she had some pretty white teeth just like Tay. Um, however, um when I seen that bagel, I'm like, oh my God, that is the prettiest but craziest looking thing. It was so bright and so perfectly colored,
Hmm.
and and it's many things. If y'all go haven't checked out Latte's World Shorts, I'm like, yo kids, the New York life they live, like it's like their mother is a whole vibe and experience. And you could just
Absolutely.
see that the kids, it's like a love and a vibe that doesn't have to be told. They don't waste airtime talking, using it to say, I love you and this, that, and the third. See, that's already known. You know what I'm saying? See, this is when
Absolutely.
you know when stuff is real, when you don't have to get
Absolutely.
on here and prove a point. You can just throw like, yo, they trying new stuff together. She don't know how them kids gonna react. You know what I'm saying? To
Absolutely.
whatever they, but that's how you know when it's a love, a natural love, trust, and loyalty on behaviors, on the experience. Like this is what these
Absolutely.
kids used to. They're used to great
Absolutely.
experiences and trying out great food. Like no matter what this lady was going through that we didn't know about, it seems to me them kids ain't know much about it either.
Absolutely, absolutely. When I say my children locked in, and my children tend to lock in with platforms who, at first I didn't even know Tay had kids, but then like the more I started watching her platform, our kids was like, yo, they lit just like us in real life. You know what I'm saying? So it gave my kids more motivation to be like, yo, I can still flick up and I can still take pictures. I can still, So I'm just so thankful for platforms where you've placed yourself in one saga or placed yourself in one story, and for families like mine who are on the outside looking in, it's like y'all open up a whole nother world. Y'all, these platforms open up another whole world for us, and it just goes to show us that yes, you can be going through real life shit, but you can still be
Mhm.
happy and trust the process. I'm just so thankful. I'm so
In
excited for
my
what God got to
process,
do with
and when I
y'all.
actually started YouTube, I actually wasn't in no saga. I was just doing challenges and recording my everyday with my kids. And I was
Yeah.
doing it not even for the factors of getting monetized. If I did, that would have came along down the line. But I was doing it for the factors of making the memory with my kids. So
Yeah.
regardless of
Same.
what happens in life, they can always go back and look at our videos together and remember those moments as if they was
Absolutely.
there.
Absolutely, and I think that's the
Absolutely.
only thing that I do regret. And I don't know if I call it regret any like longer, but that's the one thing I do feel like I take fault in. Like once we ended up in that hotel, it's like I shut us off for so long, and people didn't know what was going on with us. And like we started going through all these emotions, and we felt so alone because we cut ourselves off because we were so embarrassed, we were so ashamed. But then like once we picked up these devices and we got into this thing, it was like boom. Okay, so people are actually doing this for real,
I ain't
and
gonna
they
never be
happy.
ashamed when God picked me to get a new start. I ain't gonna never
Absolutely.
be ashamed because every loss is not a loss. Some loss is a
Period.
lesson. Sometimes it's a growth. Sometimes your old chapter you outgrow that. If you would have stayed where you was at, you wouldn't be who you is.
Absolutely.
Can't
Period.
stunt your growth in life. Everything happens for a reason. Now, until we find out that reason, we gonna keep going. And that's what the motive is. It's not about what God put on us, it's what He put in us.
Period.
Woo!
I love it. I love
Talk
it.
to me.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
and
And
look,
what
without
he
these
put in me was the
conversations,
spirit to keep going. So nothing that I was going through was gonna stop the goal that I had for me and my children. And that was for us to
Absolutely.
keep going. I wasn't gonna let us get caught in a situation where we was just going to be in a situation. We gonna make the best of the situation. What we in New York City, Time fucking Square. We is lit. We go
Period.
outside, anything that people dream to be able to do or go to, that's what we have option to do. So I'm not going to worry about what we can't do, and I'm going to focus on what we can do. And that's what
Period.
we're
woo!
going to do until we get to where we need to be. All of our
Absolutely.
wants will come eventually.
Absolutely. I love it.
Period.
I love it. It look in that order. Y'all know how I say real quick
And
in
then
that
we
order.
be in our place, and my daughter be like, Ma, I sure miss Manhattan. I could just walk down the block right now and go to H&M. This me, you sure me? I ain't gonna lie, baby. I miss Manhattan too. I could just walk down the block and go to Chick-fil-A. It was right on the corner, baby. I could smell the chicken when we come out the door. But
Love
some people
it.
work all their
Absolutely.
life to get where we was at in that moment. Do you understand? Why are we gonna regret the moment rather than embrace it?
Absolutely. It
Exactly.
definitely took me a little while to get there. And once I saw your platform, it just started becoming more easier. It started becoming more comfortable. And it started becoming more on the path that I knew had been laid for me. I was just prohibiting myself and I was prohibiting my family. I was keeping us shelter. But because of your platform, I'll tell you, I can honestly say you really brought us through a dark time. And I'm so thankful for you.
And I
I
appreciate
am
y'all.
too.
Y'all gonna have me in the bathroom doing the ugly cry tonight.
You so crazy. Look, this has really been an
That's the reason
amazing
why I get on every day. And despite
right
what it is that you may be going through to keep going, that's the whole, the whole goal. So to sit and soak, it ain't gonna do nothing but keep you right there. So as long as I'm able and I know, like, listen, if I got my eyes open, I'm gonna let somebody know what I seen when I open my eyes. I'm gonna tell my
period.
story.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I
Period.
definitely will be doing more of that because I feel like I feel like with all the drama that I've been seeing, I told Open, I said I've been trying to keep up, I've been trying to follow, and I backed out gracefully on my own because it was triggering things in my family. And I'm like, we seeing all of this, but and a couple of people have said it, like, what's the end goal? What's next? And I feel like my part of my story, my testimony, we have a what's next. We got 21 years like after going through these things, because man, 21 years is hard. I ain't gonna hold nobody. 21 years is hard, but when you have people surrounding you, platforms, support in your community, support on these airwaves, 21 years is possible for anybody. So I'm just ready to get to that part of my testimony. I'm excited to share with you ladies your platforms, your followers, your supporters, your families on how, yeah, we can go through domestic violence in your relationships. We can go through adultery. We can go through these things. And if you're really, really, really ready to put in the work, if you're really ready to trust the process, what counseling can do, what God can do, that you can have your happily ever after if you're ready to build it on your own. So I'm very excited and motivated to start opening up a little bit more about the journey that I have been on. I'm so thankful for y'all. I really am.
See what's next for you too as well. And I'ma sure be watching.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I'm so ready to bring you. I'm so ready to bring you. I should have been on Two Turn Tuesdays tonight with music. And by God's chance, like I had done set my notifications for y'all. And I knew I needed to go to my counseling session. Sometimes when I don't go to my counseling session, and like I said, these stories that I'm involved in, because this is a passion of mine, they trigger me. I have to constantly stay in counseling on a regular. My counseling had done ran over like a whole hour and change after everybody else left the group, because tonight we did group counseling and we're at a point in our counseling where people are actually ready to speak on what they've been through, which is why I'm so open to be able to, in Tiff's house tonight, be able to say, I've been through adultery. I've been through domestic violence in my own marriage. I had to love my husband through a certain part of his life. He had to love me through a certain area of my life. So the only reason I'm so open to be able to tell like your airwaves, your family this tonight is because I had to go to counseling. I had to sit in there and my sisters were on me like, Queen, where your smile at? And I kept trying to hide my face from the camera. And they were like, yo, usually Queen cam up, like, so something is wrong. And I was telling them like, there are so many women, you, Open, Shelly, like so many of y'all that I can name that I just owe so much thanks to. And I was just my anxiety kicked up so bad with the overwhelming love that I have for you ladies. I wound up being in my counseling session like an extra 35 to 45 minutes. And my sisters just loved on me. And I needed that to be able to say, you know what, it's okay to tell somebody what you've been through. It's okay to show people how you got through. And if it wasn't for platforms like these, support systems, safe spaces, some of us would just be stuck sitting onto our own stories and not, showing other people how to get through. And I just commend you ladies for being able to show us what you were going through and how you're getting through it and just take us along on the journey. I'm so thankful.
Amen.
Thank you. Are y'all able to hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Tiff.
Okay, I just asked because I had step outside on the porch. And for those of y'all that don't know, today is my last official night at Granny's house throughout the night. So I have had to
Oh, now it's going out.
Oh, I about to say I think she went out again.
Yeah, it's probably where she's at the service 9 times out of 10. But like we were saying, hopefully y'all come back for more conversations like this, and hopefully we was able to open or able to reach somebody tonight that possibly can relate to something that they heard on the platform tonight as well, because each one teach one, and it's not about hiding what you go through, it's about growing what you go through, or growing through what you've been through, let me say it that way. And you
Ab-
never know how your growing experience can help the next person.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm excited. Just since over the weekend, like there's been people, who I poured into, and I say, I keep running from it. I keep running from it, and it's, you sometimes when you watch these sagas and things, they scare you. Like, oh my gosh, people gonna say this, and this, but it has no merit on what the people that you're actually gonna help. So I'm definitely excited for what's next.
Well, you will be seeing more of us.
And I'm be tuned, and I got them notifications set.
We is
yeah, I
back
think
in
I had
or she?
lost my my
Yeah, I just was
signal
getting
when I
ready.
was speaking.
I just was
That
getting
I
ready to
moved back.
say that because we couldn't hear you.
Okay, yeah, I figured that's why I was asking because every time I step out there, I lose signal, but I be trying anyway. Yeah, hard
Okay,
headed,
spin
but
the block on it for us one time. Spin the
big
block
facts,
on it
big
for us one
facts.
time.
But hold on. And my nephew is here asking me questions. He just got back with my sister from their Florida trip, and he's playing with the dog, and I'm doing circles around him. Y'all know when life be life, you know what I'm saying? But the show must go on. You feel me? Oh,
Tiff, when
um,
did you decide? Tiff, when did you decide that you no longer wanted to be how can I say, in the streets female, not far as promiscuous, but you know what I'm saying, what I was saying. And a
Absolutely.
female that's sitting on 40 acres with a dog.
you
Period.
silly. Well, how to answer that? Well, for me, I feel like life comes with layers, and it also comes with growth, and it comes with changes, and the way that you look at things, including money, also changes as you mature, you get older. And
And
yeah, like there was a time just like and I ain't even gonna say a long time. See, I'm gonna tell y'all this. I grew up in both the hood and suburbia. You know what I'm saying? I had grandparents, and we lived in suburbia, but I had multiple sets of grandparents, uncles, aunts. So I was always accessible to, whenever I visited people. Like I grew up just as much in the hoods as I did in the suburbias where I lay my head. So with that, it's like just like anyone else, you can become accustomed to fast money and having things, and it's just become, when you let the atmosphere, like just like we do with social media, kind of groom your life. Sometimes, you think one way, so you do things a certain way. But as I've
mhm,
grown, and started getting married and different things like that, my perspective on money and what I really truly wanted out of life changed. You grow from wanting your cars and your clothes and your jewelry and all of that stuff to land and
Absolutely.
houses, and you want to
that's where
trade.
I'm going, honey.
You,
That's where
huh?
I'm going. I said that's
Right.
where I'm going. Right.
So it's different too, like when you're dating and the influences that you may be around, where if you're not around like-minded people that keeps you help you stay in the mind frame. Like for instance, I've dated them all from scholars and professors to millionaires, hustlers. I mean, I didn't have a particular type.
Mm-hmm.
Out. So you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't boxed in. My type wasn't boxed in. Based on like, oh, I only like street niggas, or oh, I only like good guys. No, I like whatever I was feeling when I was feeling it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Understood. What's
You know,
understood got to be
but
explained, right?
yeah, so with influence of depending on who you might have around you, whatever, is kind of sometime where your mindset be at. So like I said, as I matured throughout my life and I start hanging more closely and taking in more of the words of those that was where I want to be, and where I truly saw myself, and what it was going to take to get there. That was important to me. So, and also the consequences and risk that I wanted to eliminate out my life is probably the biggest thing. Because we anything can happen at any time, but sometimes like when you grow up, you don't certain things. I mean, you want to take less risk. You
Absolutely.
you get it. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
you know selling dope is fun until your ass using all your money to stay the hell out of jail. You know
I
what
was
I'm
about to
saying?
say till you get hemmed up. I've been there.
Yeah, I was one of those ones. It took a while for me to ever get hemmed up. Like I was starting to get a name for myself just by pretty much almost being untouchable, almost.
Absolutely.
But again, the key word is almost. You know what I'm
Almost.
saying? And
Mm-hmm.
almost ain't always good enough. You understand? So I was one of those that it didn't take me a lot of lessons to be learned to get the I didn't have to
Mm-hmm.
be taught repeatedly to get the lesson, if that makes sense. So I
Absolutely.
was one of those that once it finally happened, that too made me be like, all right, I ain't gotta keep having shit repeated to me. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. You be
Mm-hmm.
like, all right, I
She
learned that
said,
lesson.
she said, I touched that
Yeah,
water. I found out it was hot. That's all I needed to know.
Absolutely.
Once you found
absolutely.
out the water was hot, that was good enough for you.
Yeah. And a bigger thing is too, y'all, and we gonna talk about this on another level a little deeper. But a lot of y'all know this story from when I first came through, and I was doing a lot of story times and things like that. But it's like another thing that humbled me is I never forget, and this was back in my heavier rapping days or whatever, when I was like performing and everywhere. I was everywhere. But one year, well, this was over the span of 2 years, y'all. I'm gonna give it about 18 months, maybe 20 months, something like that. Anywho, one year, like I was hustling hard, like I was doing my thing. One thing I'm gonna tell you about hustling is like there's one thing to be a uh drug dealer or whatever. It's another thing to be a hustler, you know what I mean? And my daddy had taught me that a long time ago. Like when you hustle, you can figure out how to, what I'm saying, make something shake by any,
Absolutely.
without disrespecting yourself. Now I ain't never sold no ass. Listen, I go there. Hunty, it's too expensive down there.
I got
Now
to
we
look,
gonna go
Tiff.
ahead.
Look,
You ain't
I
gonna
got a
start no
saying for that.
rumors.
I
Huh?
got a saying for that. I ain't never sold no coochie, but I done gave some away in them times.
Man, I'm telling you now, damn it, it's been a self-choice thing. I ain't never had to do nothing.
Absolutely. Ain't
But
never sold no, but I done gave some away.
shit, ain't gonna start no YouTube rumors on me tonight. But yeah, it just means that you are multi talented as far or multi um business oriented, meaning you just have more than one thing going for you, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like if you hustle, you might for instance, like I ain't gonna tell y'all all my business, but girl, But I'ma just say, like it comes with more than like just because a person, and this resonates with a lot of people. You have a lot of people, street dudes that just because they may do that doesn't mean they don't have legal shit going on too. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And be business owners or things of that nature. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I say that that's why I say being a hustler of not just having one income coming in, you know what I mean, one way.
You gonna have we gonna wear
But
many hats.
yeah, but y'all, no cap. Yeah, this was like maybe 2009 to 2010. This is 2024. So it's been about 15 years, y'all. No cap. I have made like $250,000 in
Boy,
18 fucking months. And at the
boy,
end, look,
What?
less than 2 years, y'all, I ain't have a
boy.
motherfucking thing to show for it. And I do mean not a motherfucking thing. I ain't go buy nothing of substance. Like I was traveling and you know what I'm saying? I was having
Man,
fun and stuff like that.
Relate.
absolutely.
But having
Absolutely.
anything to show for it, I built no nest there. I did whatever because why I pictured I didn't at the time I didn't really see no, I wasn't too long in it. As far as like I ain't have multiple years in it to where I'm like, you know how people when they've been in the game for like 20 years, like if you don't go sit your ass down somewhere, you've been doing this, now you got gray hair, you're still doing this, like go yeah, that wasn't me. Like I was, kind of still fresh on the scene, but I just blew it the fuck up, no cap. But at the end of the day, when that happened, and I looked up, and that was one thing that did hit me heavy, but it didn't stop me. I just it that encouraged me to go harder because I'm like, okay, I got to make up for what I don't see right now. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? So that
Absolutely.
wasn't the moment that stopped me, but that's something I've always carried with me for years in my life. Like, wow, I never want to wake up one day and realize, and I ain't gonna front y'all, it was easy. It was easy. Like I blew
Mm-mm.
it up so quickly. It made no freaking sense. I almost didn't even realize it was happening because it was happening so fast. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
so I took no account of it. It really didn't. I didn't care too much. It was all about living in a moment and going
Absolutely.
here, doing that, having with things and stuff like that. But when I woke up that day and realized that I had made a little under a
Absolutely.
quarter million motherfucking dollars and did not have shit.
Man, Tiff, it don't take long. Like, man, I've never heard you like tell that, and it's so crazy. I actually
I can
when
relate.
the saga was going on, I can definitely relate. I am actually a person who, and I spoke on it on I think it was Chatty's panel one time because I was going through. I'm still going through a self reflection. Yo, when I say Tiff, I'm right there with you, man. They had me for 300 and over 315K. I had 15 felonies facing me. And by the grace of God, I walked away with a misdemeanor and 4 years supervised probation. So, you know what I'm saying? I can definitely understand where you coming from. And honestly, it really, my journey with God didn't change, but it took my father saying no. Because my father, like, my parents had to put up their house, their land, and their cars just to make sure that I was going to go to court. And it was like when my father said no, that was my changing point. Like for me, it wasn't even God at the moment. When my father said, they was like, yo, either you're going to put up all this stuff because they wanted it either in cash or they wanted it in assets. And I was like, yo, I'm really like, it's like you don't know how quick you running up this lifestyle. Like those lights, those cameras, it comes so fast. I was facing 15 felonies at one time in my life, so I definitely understand. I definitely understand. Like, and it will change you. Some people continue to go down that same path, and they say you either gonna end up dead or in jail. And for me, it took seeing them bars for the first time, having a couple of court dates, and hearing my father say, "Yeah, I'm not gonna risk everything." Like they had absolutely no idea what I had going on behind the scenes, and that's just how quickly like it ran up. It took me less than 3 months. And they told me I had ran up a tab of that amount. And I was like, yo, God, if you get me out of this one, I promise you, God, I would do something positive with this. And that's when my change started. So I get it, Tiff.
And I had to learn from my aspect. I could relate on the money aspect of having a lot and then feeling like you have nothing to show for it, because I'm a
Absolutely.
giving person. And I'm the type of person that if I have, whoever's around me going to have too. But you can't
Absolutely.
be that way with everybody. But being that it's in my nature, it's just always been habit forming, because I did come from like the private house. And my dad was kind of like, I guess, the female version of Tiff, if that's what it is that you want to say without saying. If I was to
Right.
get on my platform and tell my story. So I didn't have a lot of the struggles that other people had growing up,
Right.
even though I grew up with struggles, if you
Right.
understand what I mean. So
Absolutely.
me going through money, it wasn't a big thing. I had wound up getting into a car accident. Let me tell you a story, right? And let's say you walk out the bank with 300,000 in July, and let's say by the time January come, you trying to find $3 to get a pack of cigarettes.
Period.
Right. Right.
Now you remember,
Period.
I got this. Now it happened so fast, like you say, because in the moment of you having those good times, you're not really thinking of what it is that you putting at risk, even down to the factors of your livelihood. Do you understand what I mean? But
Yeah.
now when I look back, if you know how people say if you coulda, woulda, shoulda, is not a thing of that. I had that experience at that time, so I know when it comes around again what I wouldn't do.
There you
Absolutely.
go. And that's why I be
Absolutely.
telling people when I tell that when I've told that story, um, it's nothing to I rarely have told it. I've told it maybe two or three times over here in my year of doing this, and it's always been to remind people that the highlight of that shit was not in the numbers. It was in the result. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And what happens when you don't have proper when your mama and your daddy when you younger, they tell you, be careful who you choose as friends, and we don't really pay attention to how much that plays a role in our life, how much everybody think they're not able to be influenced at all, or to have weak moments, or to everyone looks at themselves as leaders, and nobody is followers. But throughout our life, we've all found ourselves in both positions. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And or else it wouldn't be nothing to learn if we all just been the smartest motherfuckers out here for a lifetime. There would be
Mm,
nothing that needed to be learned. And I refuse to say I ain't got much more knowledge to gain. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Out here.
And there would be no
It,
growth.
Right.
no
So I always
growth.
tell people that money wasn't about, ooh, you made that, cuz to somebody else that really ain't shit. To somebody else that's a
Absolutely.
whole lot. But to me it didn't matter what it was. What mattered is it was gone, and there was nothing of use that I did with it. I'm not saying in completion, cuz like I said, I did have experiences, you know what I'm saying? Went some
Hmm.
places and seen some things, and that was all beautiful. But when it comes to something that would carry me, to help solidify my future, that I did not do. You know what I'm saying? I was careless on that. So now, when as I got older and got into my 30s, and experienced my first marriage, then experienced my first divorce, you know what I mean, with all of that, and now in my second wonderful marriage, shout out to brother Buck, I love you, babe. It took growth and even that much more experience and this, that, and the third to be able to learn how you gonna do it different. If I would have never blew it or lost it or whatever the case may be, well, I ain't gonna say, if I never blew it, that mean I would have actually done something more useful with it. But you
Hmm.
don't learn like that. I would have rather
Exactly.
that happened at that age than this one. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Period. When there's much more to lose, you know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
it that's what I'm meaning by the focus is always do things with purpose. See, I was doing, I was blinking at what I was doing, but I didn't really have a goal with it. It was just something that I ended up
Uh-huh.
doing and was great at, different things.
Absolutely. It wasn't well thought out in my case.
Mm-mm.
And you know what they
Uh-uh.
say, a boss don't know how to run a company if they don't know how to run themselves first. So you
Right.
had to learn,
Absolutely.
I had to learn, and we had to learn how to run ourselves before we could become who it is that we need to be right now,
Right,
or
because
even
I
get
learned
to
how
the
to
goal
make
in
the
which
money,
we're
but
getting
I
to.
didn't know how to manage it. While I went, once I made it, I wasn't that I didn't put thought into of once you do pull this off, and I didn't. I knew I would be decent at it, but I didn't know I was gonna run it up like I was running it up. True story. I didn't know,
Mhm.
so I didn't prepare my mind for the management of what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? It was
Ab-
just
Mhm.
damn, look at me do it, not look at what I'm gonna do with it. I was just
Absolutely.
focusing on look at me do it.
I'm doing this shit, and I'm really doing
And
it.
yeah, and I
Absolutely.
ain't gonna front. I
Right.
was I was getting a different, like I've always been. Well, I've been well known in my town due to my family has been here. The house I'm at now, my family has been here since 1955. Which is quite some time, and
Mhm.
we've been here like each generation, even though some of us was born other places and this, that, and the third. This has always been a staple in all of our lives. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Absolutely.
Even mine that's on the other side of the country. This has all been a stomping ground throughout the years, no matter what. But my thing is that also the things that our ancestors teach us that we paid less attention to when we was being taught it. But now I told y'all the other day, now that I'm older, it's things that my the ways of living of my grandparents and those and my parents that came before me that it's like wow, like now I really things make sense. You know what I mean? The
Mhm.
planning and the taking care of things, like all that I learned from my grandparents about if you take care of something, that's the less amount of times you got to replace it.
Absolutely.
When you younger, kids don't care. They'll break something quick because they ain't have to work for it to pay for it.
Right.
When you get a little older, you got to start saving that allowance and getting little summer jobs to get, that money hit different. What you buy with it hits different because you had to work to get it. You know what I'm saying? So when
Mhm.
sometimes when you get that fast money or whatever you don't plan for, it really ain't put no real stank into it like to get it. It really, you know what I'm saying? What you sacrificed was stupid to sacrifice in the first place. Like you sacrificing
Absolutely.
your freedom, your life, you know what I'm saying? Depending on how you move. But at the end of the day, it's for what reward when we're not planning for something greater when we doing it.
It
Absolutely.
has no
So now
outcome. It's empty end.
hmm And that's why I don't get when people say they'll spend hours on here, whatever, and in the same breath say their channels don't mean shit. They just doing this for fun. Well, I'm not. Like I have fun
Absolutely.
while I'm doing it because I like to do what I love.
Mhm.
But my channel is not without purpose. It's just you know what I mean. And sometimes it takes some things to know how much you need to protect it or that you need to care.
This is the opportunity
Period.
that some people wish that they could get. You know how some people how many people put their all in doing or trying to do YouTube, and it hasn't, or we wasn't given, or they wasn't given the blessing that we was able to get. This is the door that was open, and I'm thankful for the blessing. And I've said that on my channel multiple of times. I don't know how
Yeah.
nobody else feel, but anything that I put my time into, I'm doing that for a reason.
Absolutely.
Yes, because
It's never
otherwise,
for nothing.
if it don't mean nothing, then it's like there would be no reason to really sacrifice. Now, I ain't saying that it can't be a hobby for some or whatever, but there I've seen plenty that puts a lot of time and effort into channels that it's like
Care
talk
about
like it is
that
what
they
it
say
is
they
or
don't
whatever.
care about. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like if it don't mean nothing, it shouldn't be a sacrifice to your time or away from your kids or your spouses or whatever. Like I don't want to take time away from my husband or family doing anything that doesn't have a purpose or a point.
Right.
Or
Absolutely, that's not
even if it's
beneficial.
sometimes missed, because we're imperfect people, so sometimes we can have good intentions that go wrong. You can give unwanted advice or unsolicited advice that goes wrong, but you had great intentions when you gave it. You could do a lot of things with good intentions that don't mean the result of that is always going to be favorable, but it got to mean something no matter what you do.
Uh-oh, Tiff, I think you went out again.
Mm-hmm. Did she go back on that porch? We've been on here for a good while too. This was a beautiful live, and I appreciate all the
If
conversations
you can
and
hear me,
everybody that dropped in to visit. Tay gonna have to get out of here soon because your girl is definitely gonna go to the casino in about a minute or two.
Oh, look at you,
yes.
Tay.
And and I want to personally thank everybody that came to pull up on us, and I hope y'all can hear me because I'm trying to step back into the Wi-Fi. Lord, I'm gonna definitely go live from the house from here on out. But thank you to Humble Me Hype. Thank you to cousin Latte. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can
Yes.
hear you.
Okay. Thank you to Cousin Tay for kickstarting this wonderful Tuesday collaboration with me. It's a true honor cuz we did not plan to be here this long, y'all. We literally was like we coming on for like an hour and it has been over 3, but we had a great build and I don't regret a minute of it. I thank Humble Me Hype for kickstarting and making it safe again to share our stories and testimonies and being a part of this live and this panel tonight. Thank you to everybody that took some time out to hang out with us, spite of everything that's going on in our lives and the YouTube streets and everything else. It means the world to me just to have a moment of you guys' time. And I hope to see each and every one of you plus some next Tuesday. We gonna make sure that it is known. We're going to plan and have a particular type, vibe that we're going to go off of next Tuesday and every Tuesday. We'll just, me and Tay discuss where we want to go with it, and we're gonna keep building Tuesdays with Tiff and Tay, making it great for ladies and gentlemen to just have a peaceful, cool ass place to keep it real, share our stories, have a laugh, and just do what we need to do, bring more positivity and bettering situations and stuff like that. So I am so grateful to everybody. I couldn't love you and thank you enough. May God bless y'all for blessing me with your presence, your love, and your comments tonight. Thank you so much, Tay, for starting this new Tuesday journey with me. And for those that will be joining us and coming up on the panel and giving us your insight and sharing the laughter, I'm so grateful. Looking forward to these Tuesdays like I look forward to every good day the good Lord wakes me up. May
And I
you
thank you
all.
because this is just the first start of many journeys.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And if y'all have anything in particular you think of that you think this new dynamic duo would be great at touching on, if something comes to your mind, feel free to drop it down, and even after the lives you can put your ideas down into this live in the comment section if you have something you think we should incorporate or that you want to talk about. These Tuesdays are about to be lit. This one was a great start. It came with no preparation, no nothing. We just pulled up and did what we did, and it was wonderful. And I look forward to next Tuesday with you, beautiful ladies. Thank y'all for supporting all of us. Remember, you wonderful. Spite what your neighbor got to
Kisses to
say.
everyone. And if nobody told you they love you
Come
today,
through.
we do.
We do. We love
We
y'all.
do. We love you.
Don't
I
worry
love
about the
y'all, ladies.
naysayers. We love y'all
Absolutely.
and thank y'all for being a friend straight like that. And we out. It's the 411. I am your gracious host, Tiff the Gift, with the amazing Latte's World. And we got Queen Unique in the building. Good night, y'all.
Good night, everybody.
Good
Thank you,
night.
Tay. I love you, cousin. Thank you, Humble. Love you, sis.
I love you too, boo. Thank you so much for having me and always just giving me a safe space. I love you, baby.
I love you too. Good night, baby. I'm going to throw these banners up real quick and give a special, special shout out again to Cousin Latte for coming up here with me tonight. It has been amazing. I have went way over the time that I planned for this. I'm super, super late even doing dinner, and it was well worth it. I'm about to slide home, have dinner and with the old man, because I know it is good and I can't wait to dig in. I thank y'all so much. I couldn't thank you enough. Okay, I couldn't thank you enough. Remember, we gonna keep God in the midst of all lives and all situations. Remember, you wonderful, you amazing, and I couldn't have picked a better family to grow with me and take this journey with me. Take this journey with me and Tay. Take this, and you let me take the journey with y'all. This is everything. Here's the out with the old ways of doing things and in with the new ways of doing things in the break room 411. It's up and it's stuck with God at all times. God has been good to me, and I know He's been good to somebody out there. What an amazing Tuesday with Cousin Tay. I thank her so much for jumping this off with me. Can't wait till next Tuesday at 8 o'clock for more Tiff and Tay. It has been a pleasure, you guys. A pleasure, a pleasure, a pleasure. Thank y'all so much for hanging out so long. I didn't intend it, but I'm grateful for it. That's it. That's all. I ain't gonna go no further than that. Closing it out with my partner Tay down for Tuesdays with Tay and Tiff. Um and yeah, so that's it. That's all, Miss Annette. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much to my beautiful wrenches, Shelly, Open Book, Miss Annette, Mom of Three, Aries, Shelly Shell, any of my wrenches that pulled up. If I forgot anyone, it's because I can no longer see names in the chat too far up. But to any wrench that pulled up today to help us out in the chat, thank you. To any new subscribers, thank you. Shout out to the amazing journeys you content creators are taking with us. Thank you for supporting 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 us.
Is this live still going? Is this live still going? Cause I don't know if y'all hear or not, but my iPad had died and I didn't even know it was actually dying. But is this live still on? I am so tickled. Um I think I was in the middle of simply shouting all of y'all out for being here. I love you, Miss Shakina. I have no idea if y'all can hear me or if it actually is still going because I entered the studio from my phone because my iPad died on y'all, but I thought it ended the live. So maybe it did. I'm not for sure. However, I hope everybody have a good rest of your night if this live is still going. I love each and every one of y'all so very much. It has been your gracious host, Tip, to give in the 411. God bless y'all that if you are here and I wasn't. Love you. I'm going to see if I can end it from this device.